probably take that literally and just don't cut my mustard. Oh. When I say a bitch, I don't mean a female. I mean that it fits in nice with the details. Set up the pre-bill by the chosen in charge. Since you can't just go retail without playing your part. And that's where we start. Since he posted his phone number, I called the fart. And I told him I wonder why it is he's not under the thumb of the system. But it turns out he's dumber than biblical wisdom since he's listening. Don't say anything about Jews. Why not? His star was given, and that employs nothing new. Notice how they don't say, like, they don't specify, don't say anything bad about the Jews. They don't want us even talking about them. They don't want you even mentioning the Jews. Even if you have good shit to say, they don't want you to say it. Because they know it'll lead to exposure. It'll lead to negative shit coming out. How could you even begin to talk about them without being negative? And if you're at all interested in fixing the problem and making the world a better place, there's only one thing that needs to be, well, there's not only one thing, there's one major thing that needs to be focused on, which will end up fixing all the problems, or at least a lot of them. Not they look like just as much as before, and it's because they're so enormous, we look like a flea circus. Goyim TO for her sandals on the purpose, but they really get nervous when we put down our weapons and say, good doesn't deserve it means you don't pay attention to my enemy. We all think the same, yet who's often in attention. I had a cop run my plate a minute ago. Nothing wrong. So for him to run the plate is actually illegal. But that's just what they do. Wow, those guys have 2 Bentleys. Holy shit. The public enemy, since you're dangerous to the public, but you're like 100 centipedes running away when you're confronted and seeing through your trusted pageantry. I would say you should suck it, but you'd probably take that literally, and you just don't cut my mustard. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. All I wanted was a conversation. So, Prince Andrew got arrested. How's that? Hey, maybe this guy knows. That was pretty fucking crazy. How is Prince Andrew being arrested, but bitch-ass Donald Trump isn't yet? Andrew has been arrested over the Epstein files, and yet... What happened, Griffey? Love to hear your opinion on this. What is she doing? Oh, little girls are hilarious. Throw it. What the fuck are you saying? A mana wave? Nice. A mana wave from New Zealand. Fuck the monarchy. I mean, New Zealand, I think New Zealand would be a really huge, like, if TBG was playing, you gotta start rocking the TBG in New Zealand and sharing with people. Because New Zealanders actually listen to the lyrics and, like, they'll pay attention. They'll actually, you know, it's not just another song. Let's see. You know, he bred the ball guy and the whole fiasco. Oh yeah, Andrew is definitely the one that was set up to fail. You know, that's what they have to do. Usually it's a black guy. You know, they love putting it on the black guy, which is the Diddy scenario or the Lawrence A. King scenario.
Master Chief, yet feel like shepherds busting everything you're trusting, even though
you know
mentioning the upper crust brings
the flow to down below. Go that's less than slow.
Woefully falling behind. The show they push to grows more so a stalling line, since calling on the mind to see what isn't seen is so appalling when you find that we've been living in a scene.
Oh, hi. Do you ever listen to normal music? You ever listen to normal music? Like, I guarantee if you made music, you'd listen to it. But you don't create. You don't actually do anything, so you can't relate. But I'd much rather listen to TBG than anything else, because at least TBG says something. Nothing else says anything. Oh, I'm sure you do. You do everything, right? You have an uncle that works on submarines, and you make music and blah, blah. Shut the fuck up. You're a poser. You're a piece of shit friar poser who's a pedophile. Nobody gives a shit what you have to say. Fuck you.
Look at how stupid you are.
I do make music, Anton. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. And I'm sure it's really good. Right? That's why you're on my dick, right? Because you do all the good stuff. These fucking clowns, man. These friar pedos, man. They're just so used to Goyim acquiescing, right? They're so used to saying things and Goyim just being like, okay, well, you're chosen, so I can't say anything. They're like not good at it. They've lost the ability to actually do a back and forth. You're a proud pedo. We know. And guys, notice how, and when I say they are pedos, he doesn't deny it. You got Kirk for Israel. Is that what you mean? I'm not sure what circ means. Circ. I don't know what that means. But Israel is just the thing that we've been given. Israel doesn't exist. Israel's just a theoretical place that they say exists, and we go, okay. Sorry.
Crazy ways. It's their variant that sucks. Let's throw that trash away. Look how disrespectful.
Like, look. I denied it. No, you didn't. No, you said you make music. You said I offended you, and then you said you're proud to be a Jew. At no point did you deny being the pedophile piece of shit that you are. You literally said how proud you are to be the pedophile piece of shit you are. I had to say anything about Mexico before? What are you talking about?
Comparing us to animals, if we dare to be...
No, I don't know what that means. Like, if you look at what the narrative is that's pushed on us regarding the, regarding... like you hear about these Muslim grooming gangs and all this other bullshit that's happening. They're coming through. The brown people are raping the white women, and like you hear that shit all the time. But that's what they've always done. Literally, that's what they did with Mexicans. That's what they did with blacks. That's what they've always done to distract the people. So you're scared of the brown people instead of looking at who's really at fault. It's just what they do. Look at the dumb friar. Stop talking. Stop saying these things. I can't say anything to the contrary. I'm too stupid to argue. Stop talking. It's hilarious how inept they are. You know, it's hilarious, like that they have the gall to call themselves the chosen people when they're so fucking basic and just stupid and embarrassing. Their whole thing is just embarrassing. Why would I block somebody for providing a perfect example of what I'm talking about? I'm not complaining about them being here. I'm just pointing it out. I'm thrilled they're here. I'm so happy that they're too stupid to realize they make the feed better. It's brilliant. It's so great that they're this stupid. Because it's just what they're stupid as shit. And they like fight to prove it. And this is an example. Like, again, don't you think if I was wrong about anything I'm saying, people would just focus on what I'm wrong about? Tell me, tell you guys, make a big deal about what I'm wrong about, make me look stupid, blah, blah. Don't you think that's how that would work? If I'm wrong, why not? Why talk about anything else? You get paid for views. Stop. Oh yeah, I do. I get lots and lots of money. Notice how he's schizo ranting. So there we go. We have another Jew on here. Another one. And you know that because they all say the same shit. That's schizo ranting. That's schizo. They don't even know what schizophrenia is. They use it. They all use it because that's how they're programmed to operate. If you go back to the auto emancipation pamphlet of 1882, it flat out says anybody who doesn't accept their Jewish supremacy has psychosis, pathological disorder, and an irrational phobia. That's how they do it. It's what their whole argument is false because they know they're stupid. God is not real. No, God is definitely not real. And I'm not being anti-Semitic. I would be talking bad about the Palestinians if I was being anti-Semitic, you moron. But this is what I mean. Like, thank you for providing such a great example of what I'm always talking about. For those that don't understand, Semitic are the people. So the people of the region, the Semitic people, are the Palestinian people. Although DNA, 23andMe, and all that shit is banned in Israel, the recent DNA tests that have come out have shown that 95% of the Israelis that live there don't have Semitic DNA. They don't belong in that region. That's why they burn. That's why they get such horrible sunburns. That's why they're allergic to everything here. Because it's not their homeland, right? It's not where they belong. Me personally, I am very, very proud of my anti-Semitism. Because Semitism and Semitic are about as different as fucking cat and refrigerator. I would say cat and dog, but at least they're both animals. Semitic and Semitism are completely different. The Palestinians are Semitic people. Semitism literally means policy and predisposition favorable to Jews. Now, break that down. Policy is your rules and regulations. Predisposition is like if your mom's family has a predisposition or your mom's family all has cancer, then you have a predisposition to cancer. That's a fallacy. Anti-Semitism refers to bigotry against the Jews. That you just said what I said, you dumbass. Anti-Semitism is not the same as anti-Semitic, you dumb fucking moron. Semitism, again, is policy or predisposition favorable to Jews. I am proud to say that nobody should get policy or predisposition favorable to them, especially them. And if you're dumb enough, like, again, does anybody think there are like Christians or you know, white, black people? Do you really think that's who's in here arguing with me right now? Or do you think it's more and more dumbass Jews who can't actually argue anything? Because nothing I'm saying is false. Nothing I'm saying is false. They're just too stupid, right? They're just so fucking stupid that there's nothing they can say. I'm an atheist. Why are you calling me a Jew without evidence? Well, let's see. What evidence could I possibly have? Do I have access to you personally? No. So the only thing I can base my assumption on is what you say in the comments. And personally, I can't understand why anybody would support the pedophile cult. Right? It's a pedophile cult. It's like based around pedophilia. Everything about. Are you that stupid? Your comments are the evidence, you dumbass. This dude is cooked, prejudiced as hell. Yeah. I am prejudiced as fuck against the pedophile cult. Yes, you are correct. Yes, you are correct. Like, you telling me that you're trying to make it sound like something's wrong with it. Yeah, I proudly oppose the pedophile cult that's committing genocide right now. I mean, it's genocidal, pedophilic, right? I'm super proud to oppose those things. And the fact that you never see any of them come out and say these same things shows you that it's a pedophile cult all the way through, start to finish. You can blame all of them. Why you are implying Jewish people are pedophiles specifically. That's asinine. Okay, what do you call people who suck on bloody baby penises? What do you call people who defend people who suck on baby penises?
There is no try.
Right? Do you not call those pedophiles?
Excuses only rot the purpose of your plot.
You should, if you're ignorant, then you should shut up, right? Like, if you're ignorant, shut up because you don't understand. But if you're curious, then you should look up metzitzia, METZITZIA, new word, B', PEH, metzitzia. It's part of their Brit Milah, which is circumcision ritual. And it's one of 4 parts, right? If you don't complete all 4 parts, you don't do the ritual. Look at this dumbass. Look at this dumbass just trying to, what am I wrong about? Go on, tell me what part I'm wrong about. Are you denying that metzitzia is a thing now? Is that what we're doing? Are you pretending like I'm wrong here? All of it's wrong. Oh yeah, metzitzia isn't a thing? Right? Metzitzia, don't leave out the cannibalism. Right. A lot of times they eat the foreskin and or the placenta, but that's a whole, that's different. That's not something that happens every time. What happens every time is pedophilia. You're wrong to call me and you. Yeah. Oh no, you're a piece of shit lying friar who comes on here defending the Jews. Yeah. Like, if we know anything about the friars, is that lying is a part of their gig. It's what they do. So for them to deny that they're them, it's not surprising. Of course they're gonna. I can't tell you how many times it's gotten to the point where we're talking about these specific things, and then they start denying. Oh yeah, well, no, I'm not really a Jew. No, that's not me. No, I'm not a Jew.
What do you expect? Planets have dark
Like, they're
stars.
fucking stupid, man.
You're no longer a mark eye. I think all of us smart guys should admit that we know nothing.
All they do is lie.
Palestine discussing.
All they do is I mean, we're talking about a pedophilic genocidal cult. Do you think lying is like, oh, well, the one thing we won't do is lie? Of course they're going to lie. It's what they do. It's how their whole existence is a thing. You know, whether it's, when you're talking about Christianity, which is the crux of it, like if they hadn't created the lie that is Christianity, then they wouldn't even be in the position they're in, because it's the Christianity myth that keeps them protected. If it weren't for Christianity telling people those are God's chosen people, you better, ignore all the pedophilia and, support the genocide, then, they wouldn't do it. But it's all just lies, all of it. Judaism is the religion of truth. Yeah. Again, they cut and suck on little baby penises. That's what they do. That's one of their main rituals. And like I say, they don't consider metzitzia. Like, metzitzia has 4 parts to it. The suction is just one of the parts. And if you don't do the suction, you don't complete the mitzvah, it's called. And as far as mitzvahs go, nothing is higher than circumcision, and circumcision is as important as any other mitzvah, and no other mitzvah is more important. So it's one of the most important rituals in their cult. And it's disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. But it actually pales in comparison to the bottom of darkness. And I highly suggest every single person spends an afternoon looking up the bottom of darkness. I will provide you a link in the description after the fact. But if you need to go do it now, go do it now. And go check out, look it up, Israel Hayom, Hayom, Bottom of Darkness. Israel Hayom. Israel Hayom is not some little like fly-by-night nothing. It's Israel's #1 free weekly propaganda, It's a free newspaper, but it's a weekly free propaganda paper. Wow, that would be an amazing bonfire. That would be sweet. But the bottom of darkness is it's well known. It's the ritualistic sexual abuse that they do to just about all of the children in Israel. And probably here too. We just don't hear about it. But their whole thing is that the ritual sexual abuse of children is it's a redemption arc. It's redemption and transcendence. It's what they believe. So from like 3-4 years old on, they're ritualistically, consistently raped, sexually assaulted. They have things shoved inside of them. They have their heads, put underwater so they almost drown. They put their hands in boiling water. They do all sorts of torturous things while citing and the rabbi leads the thing, and blows the shofar and all that other shit, right? And they believe that through this process of ritualistic sexual abuse and rape, that it absolves them of their sins. They transfer their sins. If you know about Kaparat, I think a lot of us have heard of it. You just don't know. Oh, look, somebody's flying the pedo flag. He's proudly saying what a pedophile he is by flying that pedo flag. Isn't that interesting? Shit, I got distracted by the pedo flag. I don't remember what I was saying. But the whole bottom of darkness thing is again, it's a very prominent it's Sheldon Adelson's thing. If you're familiar with the Adelsons, oh look, somebody said the meds. Again, more meds comments. If you're familiar with the Adelsons, you've seen recently Trump basically licking Miriam Adelson's twat right on fucking TV, like as much as he can. And he was like, there she is. Remember he did $60 million in the bank. And he talked about how Sheldon would call up and say, I need to see you. And he'd say, no, I'm the president. You can't just burst in here. But he'd show up anyway and just walk through the Secret Service and have whatever meeting he wanted with the president. And, you know, isn't it interesting how when I say it's the pedo flag, they start flying it more and more? They don't deny being pedophiles, you guys. And so the binding of the bottom of darkness, they believe that if they do this to children, like I say, Kaparat is when they kill the chicken and you see them like swing the chicken around over their head. These sick pieces of shit believe that they transfer their sins into the chicken, and then when it's killed, they donate it to the poor, to the Goyim, and laugh as the Goyim are eating the chicken that's full of their sins, right? That's who these sick pieces of shit are. And if you look up their cult, like most of their holidays are have to do with redemption. They're constantly needing redemption. They're constantly needing to be redeemed for the lives that they live, right? Look at this dumb shit. Jewish Jesus. Gotta love Jewish Jesus because it's a Jew. You know, it's all a Jewish fairy tale. The Bible, all of the characters in the Bible, it's all Jewish fairy tale bullshit. But hey, never mind that, right? Oh, now mental health. We're talking about mental health again. Because I know more about shit than you do, something must be wrong with me. Because I know that Yom Kippur is all about redemption. What do such moral, wonderful, good people constantly need to be redeemed from then? If they say that their whole shit, you know, we're the most moral army in the world, most moral military, we're the most moral people, we're God's chosen people, what do they constantly need redemption for? What? They must be doing something awful to constantly need to be redeemed. And the thing is, when you look into it, you then understand that, I mean, you know, the idea of the ritualistic sexual abuse is something that needs to be redeemed, right? You need to redeem yourself for that. But especially since they enjoy it so much. But what they do is they redeem, you know, so they use this child as a vessel to take in all of these sins, right? They know they're constantly putting their sins into the child. Right? And so when the child becomes an adult, at 13 years old, because, you know, that makes sense, 13-year-old adults, when the child becomes an adult at 13 years old, they force the child to now do the same thing. The child is full of all those sins, right? As a child full of sin, they need to be redeemed. So they force the 13-year-old new adult to then rape a child themselves so that they can transfer all of those sins that they've collected, because they were told as young kids that they were special, that they were chosen, that if it weren't for it being them, it would be their little brother or sister. So they then take in all of this sin. Now they're full of sin. They need to be redeemed somehow. So when they do it to a child, it's to redeem themselves for being such dirty sin vessels. For taking all of that sin, they need redemption for that. And that's how the cycle repeats. And that's how they continuously get, you know. But it also explains to you why you have... By the way, if you're watching, don't forget to like, share, and sub. People need to know this shit. It's really important. Because I'm actually explaining things. Most people bitch. I'm explaining to you. Don't you ever wonder how an entire population can be so awful? How they can just live off of genocide? How they can be brought in a bus into a residential area, and the bus doors open, and they fight over each other. They push around, trying to get to the house because they want to claim the house that was just cleared earlier that week. There's still food from the previous people in there. But if they can get there and claim it, then it's their house. Who the fuck could do that? Who could say to somebody literally to their face, it's a pretty famous video at this point, if I don't steal your house, somebody else will? Who in their right mind lives like that? Who in their right mind thinks, yeah, we should be sucking on baby penis? That makes sense, right? That our God wants us to do that, blah, blah, blah. Who thinks like that? You know? This idea of $3.8 billion a year, right? $3.8 billion a year. And they feel like they deserve it. They feel like they're entitled to it. You know why? Because they have earned it. That's not free money. If you're dumb enough to think that money's free, you're a fool. You know, they absolutely have to pay for that shit. They absolutely have to pay. Oh, let me see this here. Screws. It's a nice chair, but not interesting. Look at this shit. A Ramai won't cleanse him of his anger. See, this is it. This is the craziness that you couldn't cleanse me of any anger. Nobody can cleanse me of an anger that I'm extremely proud of. I am proud of my anti-Semitism, and there's nothing anybody can do to change that. You'll never convince me that hating fucking pedophiles is the wrong thing to do. Are you out of your fucking mind? Jewish pride, Jewish power, never again, says some piece of shit pedo. You're a fucking pedophile. You piece of shit. All of you friar pedophiles, fuck you. I can't wait to eliminate your shit. And that's the goal. When I win the presidency in 2028, that's the platform I'm running on. We will eliminate these metzitzia pedos from being in this fucking country. You know, the last bit of money that these pieces of shits will get from the United States American taxpayers is a plane ticket. And the plane ticket is not to Israel. Israel it doesn't exist, and that's Palestine. I'm not gonna, the Palestinians don't deserve that. The plane ticket that they will get, that one last bit of money that they will get from us, is for the to send them to the Jewish Autonomous Oblast. How many of you know what the Jewish Autonomous Oblast is? Unless you've been on my feed, you probably have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. But the Jewish Autonomous Oblast, we just need a land of our own. The Jewish Autonomous Oblast was actually settled, was set up for them in a beautiful area of Russia, picturesque, mountains on one side, forests and everything. It's perfect. It's like 3-4 times the size of Israel. It's a beautiful place where they don't have to worry because there's no big bad Muslims on either side of them trying to get rid of them. But it was set up before Israel because they knew what they were planning. The Russians were like, we got to stop this genocide that these piece of shit friars are trying to do. And they set up the autonomous oblast, the Jewish Autonomous Oblast. Right? And so we will provide them with one last plane ticket. But I will, as president, ban friarism. I will ban it. And I will give you the option. You don't have to leave. If you say, look, I am all for everybody being equal, no more pedophile rituals, let's eliminate that shit, then you can stay. No doubt about it.
I don't know, there's an amazing German shepherd by the name of Moose on Facebook, quite famous. He's running for president as well. He might give you a run for your money.
Maybe. Right?
Anybody.
Oh, here we go. President of the mental asylum, right? Now here we go again. Back to the mental stuff, because if you don't believe in their supremacy, something must be wrong with your brain.
He must like Trump. Mental asylum.
Oh, of course. Anybody that supports Israel is a Trump supporter. Of course. How could you not be? As a Jew, how could you not be a supporter of Trump? He literally gives you everything you want, and he's clearly Netanyahu's bitch. What the fuck are you talking about? So, real quick, we're going to just prove the point to you, because I know how people are talking a bunch of shit, right? Okay. So here's something called auto-emancipation, right? We'll start here. Even though, it's really fucked up how most of the truthers out there are just fake Israel 7K, like Ian Carroll, Stu Peters, Ian Blakely, Nick Fuentes, obviously Nick Fuentes at this point. I mean, I don't know how you could see it any other way. But these guys are all, if you remember, I don't know, 8 months ago or so, 6-8 months ago, it was leaked that Israel pays influencers between $7,000 and $8,000 a month to either talk about Israel in a certain way or not talk about it at all. And so that's why you get guys like Ian Carroll that come out of nowhere. Suddenly in March of 2023, Ian Carroll is allowed to have 300,000 following and is on Joe Rogan's show the following month, right? But it's because Ian Carroll will tell you can't blame the whole cult. I have some cult members that are very nice to my face. So you can't blame the whole cult. You have to blame Zionism or Zionism. The boogeyman that they gave us. They told us to focus on Zionism. They told us to focus on Israel. And so you have guys like Ian Carroll that tell you to focus on Zionism. It's the Zionists. And the other thing he'll tell you is believe in Jewish Jesus. They all say the same thing. Why do all of the most prominent truthers say the exact same shit, the exact same script? Is it just more coincidence? Is that what you're going to chalk it up to? It's just coincidence that they all say the same shit? That every single one of them will tell you that this all goes back to the Balfour Declaration of 1916. Never mind that it's actually the Rothschild Declaration, but they didn't want it to be so obvious, so they threw that Balfour name on it. Shit, Lawrence Johnson, who is this pretty prominent halfy truther guy, he makes pretty decent Facebook videos. He was talking about this all starts back in 1948 when Israel was established. Ha! Israel was established in 1948. That's when it starts. But again, you have all of these other truthers that'll tell you it starts with 1916. And the Balfour Declaration. But never mind the fact that I'm going to show you something from 1882. And prior to 1882, it was called Proto-Zionism. For years and centuries, they would be practicing Aliyah because of Proto-Zionism. And for anybody that has any sort of misconceptions on what Zionism is here, let me just show you. So, actually, you know what? I have to start with this because there'll be the crybabies that say, oh, you're looking at Wikipedia. Right. I use Wikipedia on purpose. Wikipedia is not only the number one source of information in the world, but it's their source of information. So it might not be 100% true, but it's 100% the truth that they want us to have. And what I'm about to show you is Naftali Bennett, former Israeli prime minister currently, but at the time he was a future Israeli prime minister, highest ranking Mossad, IDF, Israeli agent possible. He's as high ranking as it gets. And here he is in 2010 bragging to the IsraelNationalNews.com. Well, I don't want to cheapen it for you. So here, just watch. See what he has to say.
Metzitzia, in conjunction with My Israel, has arranged a construction day for wiki editors. The goal of the day is to teach people how to edit in Wikipedia, which is the number one source of information today in the world. As a way of example, if someone
look at some dumbass posting biblical verses.
We want to be the guys who influence what is
Sorry, I interrupted.
the number one source of information today in the world. As a way of example, if someone searches the Gaza flotilla, we want to be there. We want to be the guys who influence what is written there, how it's written, and to ensure that it's balanced and Zionist in nature.
All right, so there you go. So it's really interesting when you look at all the different times he says, it's because he's thinking of what's the best word to say. So in the beginning, when he says that they have arranged an instruction day to teach, it's him covering for the fact that they insisted, they didn't arrange, they insisted on being there and changing the way that Wikipedia operates. They're the number one source of information in the world, and they need Israel to come tell them how to do their job? Does that even make sense to you? But he even says, look, and this part has no uhs in it, so this is already a rehearsed point, but he says, for example, when people search the Gaza flotilla, and that's not the recent Gaza flotilla that nobody's talking about anymore. This is the one from 2010 where 11 people were taken hostage, one of which is Ken O'Keefe. This is where Ken O'Keefe emerges from. Fucking piece of shit. But 9 people aboard the ship that Ken O'Keefe was on, 9 of the 11, meaning Ken O'Keefe and one other guy were the only ones to survive that ship. 9 people were killed, 6 of which were found to have been killed execution style, meaning they're on their knees, shot in between the eyes, hands behind their head. And the claim is that the reason they were able to get away with it is because, you know, when they attacked these ships in international waters at like 3, 4 in the morning, sudden surprise attacks, well, these guys fought back. And one Israeli soldier was killed. Yeah, right. We don't know who that is. We don't ever get that kind of information. But because the people aboard the ship that was being pirate attacked decided to fight back, well, the Israelis had no other option but to kill 9 of the 11, 6 of them execution style. And the court was like, yeah, you had no other options. I guess not. The Jewish judge. But I only show you that because there are dumb people out there who think anybody can edit Wikipedia, which is just, what a stupid thing. If anybody could just edit Wikipedia, all they'd have to do is go into Wikipedia, click edit, click select all, click delete, click save, and just do it over and over again, and they could fuck Wikipedia all up. So there's the illusion that people can edit, but as he was saying, the editors, you might make an edit, but then it's sent to the editors. Why did they spare Ken? Because Ken's a fucking agent. Ken is an agent. Don't get it twisted. The best controlled opposition says a lot of truthful shit. But at the end of the day, what does Ken O'Keefe tell you? Believe in God and blame the Zionists. Blame Israel. So we know that Israel controls Wikipedia, right? Without a shadow of a doubt, Israel controls Wikipedia. So when I'm looking stuff up on Wikipedia, it's the truth that they want us to know. Whether you believe it or not, it's the truth that Israel wants us to know. And we'll start with Zionism itself, okay? Zionism, which happens to be one of these pages that's completely locked up. So even if you wanted to hide behind the excuse that somebody was editing it, it says, did you see Prince Andrew got arrested?
Yeah, I sent that to you.
I didn't see it. Look at, somebody on here says, I hope Prince Andrew gets away with everything, right? Because it's not a bunch of friar pedophiles that are here and mad at me. That's something normal people say. Normal non-pedophiles say shit like that, right? Do you guys see how fucking stupid they are? They actually think that like that they're doing good. They actually think that their crybaby bullshit is somehow a viable thing. Ehud Barak was just hanging out with Epstein because they were buddies. It's all just bullshit. But anyway, let's dig deeper, right? Actual evidence. And all crazy conspiracy theorists, right? All right, so Zionism is an ethno-cultural nationalist movement that just emerged in the late 19th century, so that's the late 1800s for all you dumb people out there. To establish and support, 19th century, late 19th century Europe, to establish and support a Jewish, right? They're just fucking my feet because I'm wrong, and they're just gonna do this. Right? This makes sense. Which roughly corresponds to the land of Israel in Judaism itself central to Jewish history. Look at how they just tanked my shit. I went from 30-something viewers down to 6, just like that. But we jumped back up to 17. Zionists wanted to create a Jewish state in Palestine with as many Jews and as few Palestinian Arabs as possible. Any questions? Any questions? Anyone still denying? This dumbass says, you just hate God. I don't hate things that don't exist, you moron. You fucking moron.
Hate takes so much energy.
Right. I would have to believe in it to hate it. But look at all these dumbass comments, man. They just can't handle it. Now they're talking about Jesus like Jesus isn't Jewish. Like it's not a Jewish fairy tale. Anyway, Auto Emancipation is a pamphlet written in German by Russian, Polish, Jewish doctor and activist Leon Pinsker in 1882. He anonymously, this Russian, Polish doctor who was only a doctor because he got his law degree, but Jews weren't allowed to practice law. So he just decided to become a doctor instead. This Russian, Polish, Jewish guy anonymously publishes a pamphlet in German that gets distributed throughout the whole Jewish world in 1882, right? Make that make sense. It is considered a founding document of modern Jewish nationalism, especially Zionism. Pinsker discussed the origins of anti-Semitism and argued for Jewish self-rule and the development of a Jewish national consciousness. He wrote that Jews would never, quote, become the social equals of non-Jews until they had a state of their own. He called on Jewish leaders to convene and address the problem. In the pamphlet, pay attention, he describes anti-Jewish attacks as a psychosis, a pathological disorder, and an irrational phobia. That's schizophrenic. You need to take your meds. You don't believe in our supremacy. You need to take your meds. You need to take your meds. So when you get stuck on, oh, it's the Balfour Declaration, blah, 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 blah. Well, you're sort of missing the point. So now, you heard it was from 1882, right? Well, prior to 1882, there's proto-Zionism. Now, this is only if you believe the narrative. I don't believe the narrative. I think you're either somebody who understands the concepts or has an understanding of the concept of a reset, or you're just some dumbass, right? You're somebody that believes, we don't know how we did it. Dude, that's a good answer. The Olympics, it showed you just how ridiculous it all is. They kept focusing on the cathedrals and all the buildings and shit. And it's like, when do people start asking, who the fuck built that shit? How did they build that shit? Right? Israel has the right to exist. Why? Why? Please tell me. Please tell me. It's funny when you look up metzitzia, there's not a lot talking about it. You have to actually look into it to find it. You definitely won't find any mentions on the good old wiki. Right? Look at all this stupid shit. Look, if I'm wrong, let's just cut it to the fucking basics here. If I'm wrong, how come none of these idiots are actually telling me what I'm wrong about? Right? Jesus was a Jew, ha ha. He was born to a Jewish mother in Jewish Galilee. And she was probably 13 or 14. Yeah, they love to leave that part of the story out. Just like the whole Abraham, you know how all three religions, the Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, are considered Abrahamic religions? If they're different, why are they all called the same thing? Why do they all have a bunch of the same characters? One of those characters being Abraham. Now, to Muslims, he's a prophet. To Christians, he's the father of all religious people. But to Jews, he is the father of the Jewish people specifically. What's really interesting about him is the whole, call me Ishmael. We've all sort of heard these terms in our lives. We've seen these things referenced in movies and shit, didn't know what it was. But the whole call me thing. Isn't it interesting how Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves? Good old honest Abraham. But Abe, good old, at first he was Abram. His name was Abram. And he was married to Sarai. And they were in their 90s or so when the Jews, who were the only ones capable of doing it back in the Bible days, they built one of their God phones. Because if you actually read most of Genesis, it's basically like a Jew builds a God phone. God says, hey, I am the almighty guy who sits on clouds and farts out rainbows. And every single time he introduces himself as something different. Almost like they knew that there was a core narrative, but they didn't have all of the details when they were putting it together. So all the story, I am the guy who farts out rainbows and sits on clouds. Like they always say it differently, right? And Abram builds this God phone and he's talking to God. And like I say, most of the time, God will be like, hey, you're awesome. Everything from this point to this point now belongs to you. Go tell the people of the town that already live there, everything is yours because I said so. And apparently that worked. Apparently these Jewish guys would walk into the town and be like, hey, I just built a God phone that only we are capable of building. And God said, all this is mine. And everybody'd be like, okay. But Abram builds the God phone. And God's like, hey, you're going to have your name is now going to be Abraham. And your wife, Sarai, will now be called Sarah. And she is going to give birth to your child in which you will call Ishmael. And now Abraham was like, what do you mean? We're like 90 something years old. Because again, the Bible loves to portray things like people live to be 850 years old and shit. But they forgot to stagger the aging. So by the time somebody is 90, they are super old in the Bible. And Abram literally says to God, hey, what are you? Fuck you, fuck God. God's a fucking pedo. Anybody that supports God is a moron. God doesn't exist. God is fake. God is a Jewish fairy tale. Fuck God. You happy now? Did you get what you needed? But Abraham's like, you sure about this? She's really old. I'm really old. And God's like, trust me. And she goes, I think they have Ishmael, blah, blah, blah. The part that's often left out is that Abram and Sarai, Abraham and Sarah, were blood brother and sister. She was his younger sister. Right? God has more evidence than you think. Oh, really? Where? You probably don't know what evidence is. So that's why you say such stupid things. But if God exists, then why, like if Christianity is real, why is there anything else? If any of it has it right, why is there anything else? If God is actually real and there's proof of it, why would you believe in anything else? Why would so many people believe in other shit? God isn't a Jewish invention. Yeah, okay. Good old Sky Daddy. Watching, making sure, you don't say anything you're not supposed to. Isn't it amazing? Because people don't want to live by him. Oh my God. So let's ask this. Let's see if there's a single Christian who can answer this question, this simple question that no Christians seem to answer. Why are you Christian? Why do you believe that Christianity is real, but Islam isn't? If you're arrogant enough to say it's anything other than, well, I believe what I was told to believe by stupid parents of mine who were told to believe what they were told to believe by their stupid parents. I'm too much of a coward to look into it. Because I guarantee none of you can debunk Islam, Judaism, Scientology, Hinduism, Buddhism, some African shit we've never heard of. I guarantee you can't debunk the thousands of other religions that exist. And I guarantee your answer will be something stupid like, well, because the Bible says. You have zero proof, zero evidence. You have no reason to believe in any of that bullshit other than that's what you were told to do and you don't want to be made fun of. Right? But look, they won't say anything. They just know nothing. They know nothing about this shit. They're not even capable of having this conversation. Christ offers forgiveness and eternal salvation. Yeah, does it? What do you need forgiveness for? What kind of horrible shit have you done in your life that you need forgiveness? You're needing to be stopped. Yeah, of course. You don't want somebody like me telling people the truth, right? I'm atheist, but you're actually really dumb, right? Again, isn't it interesting how many people keep saying these little crybaby things, but not one person has sat there and said, look, you've said lots of shit wrong, but I'm going to pick this one thing and I'm going to show you how you're wrong about this. You said this and you're wrong about this because of this. Not one person. Not one fucking person. Proof that you're arrogant. Yes, I'm arrogant because I don't believe in Sky Daddy. Because I don't believe that the Sky Daddy that controls the entire universe is stopping to hear my prayers, my tithing. Because remember, God doesn't answer prayers. God answers tithing. You know what? It's about as legitimate as the idea that I have 3 watchers, 18 and 2,500 plus subscribers. You ever seen a video with 5 watchers but 18 likes on it? Almost like my shit's getting censored to bejesus, but that's not how it works, is it? After asking a question and not wanting to hear the answer. What are you talking about? You didn't answer any questions, you dumbass. What? Let's see. Muhammad wrote himself into the word of God. That's because Islam has contradicting points. Oh, but Christianity doesn't have any sort of contradictions to it at all, huh? Not starting with the idea that God loves you so much that if you don't follow a specific set of rules, you're going to go to hell and burn for all of eternity. That's not a contradiction, is it? The best part is None of you that claim to be Christian are going to go to heaven.
PCP, who's on PCP?
Right? None of you. How many of you have tattoos? Guess what? You're not going to heaven. How many of you were capable of having sex with someone before you got married? Because I know there's a lot of dorks on here. You had sex before you were married? Guess what? You're going to hell. Did you have sex after you were married, but for reasons other than procreation? Ooh, yeah. Hope you never went down on your girl. Hope you never got a blowjob. Yeah, because you're going to go to hell. But you notice how when asked, hey, Christians, tell me why you're a Christian. Give me the reason. Tell me the evidence. Tell me the proof as to why you're a Christian. Nothing. Nobody says anything. You would think they would be like, oh, sweet, you asked the right question. Here, let me explain to you. I know if you ask me why I'm not going to clam up. Why don't you believe in this stuff, guy? Oh, why are you asking me that? Don't ask me that. Right? Is that what it is? Tell me why you don't believe. Because it's fake Jewish nonsense. It's stupid. Like it's stupid. When you read it, it's a stupid story. It doesn't make sense. There's no evidence to back any of it. As a matter of fact, there were historians alive at the time in the region who weren't talking about Jesus, according to that's if you believe the narrative. The Egyptians and all the other countries around that area, none of them were talking about it. It's clearly a fake Jewish story.
What did you think? We knew that we had to keep our heads on straight. So as far as you know, Lori Mueller wasn't under the influence.
But at the same time, how do you prove something doesn't exist? I'm not the one that is charged with providing proof. Prove there's not a leprechaun dancing around in my hand right now. Holy, 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 holy. You see him? Oh yeah, if you have faith in him, he'll grant you wishes and all that. You guys see it? You gotta have faith. Prove he's not there. Go on, prove there's not a leprechaun in my hand. Stupid. But again, you would think like asking Christians why they believe in their bullshit would like fill them with joy and they'd be proud of what they believe in. They aren't. They're just stupid. I answered that. The Spirit guided me from non-belief to belief with the signs and evidence from the Spirit. See, that's not a fucking answer. That's bullshit. And then again, I love this arrogant idea that God was focused in on you, right? All of the literal Christian Catholic children that are getting raped by clergy as we speak in the Vatican, God has nothing to do with them. They must not be praying right. You know, all those Christians that are in Palestine right now, that have had their lives destroyed by Israeli bombs, family members lost, children lost, parents lost, whatever. You know what? They just haven't been praying the right way. They haven't prayed the way that you prayed, so God would help you stop drinking. You ever notice how the majority of times when people say they found God, or they're real hesitant to say what it is, because they're basically like, well, I quit drinking. They take this amazing accomplishment that they did. They were able to actually quit drinking or doing drugs, and they want to give credit to the God that sat there and watched them do drugs the whole time. And they always want to act like it was the first time they ever asked for help. The first time I ever submitted and gave in to God, God gave me the strength and I quit. You had been praying by the time you quit doing drugs or drinking, you've wanted to quit doing drugs and drinking for a long time. You'd been praying about it. You'd been wishing and hoping and, all that shit. And it never worked. It's amazing how stupid people are. The book of Job. Yeah, the book of Job answers why people suffer. Thank you so much for bringing that stupid shit up, right? So the book of Job is basically the devil sneaks into heaven with a group that is going to have a meeting with God. Whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean, how anybody has meetings with God and shit, beyond me. But this group was supposed to have a meeting with God, and the devil sneaks in with the group. And once they get up to God's office or whatever, God immediately sees the devil and is like, oh, hey, devil, hey, buddy, hey, you see that guy down there? You see that guy down there? That's Job. He worships me. And on the way up to the office, the devil was like, hey, you guys, watch this. I'm going to fuck your stupid little God all up. Watch. I'm going to have him eating out of my hand. Watch. I'm going to trick him. And they were like, you can't trick God. He's like, watch. So God runs up to the devil and he's like, hey, don't you think I'm awesome now? Don't you think I'm awesome? Look. That guy worships me. And the devil's like, nah. He only worships you because you give him so much favor. If you didn't give him all of his favor, then he wouldn't worship you so much. And the devil's like, or God's like, I'll prove it to you. I will, to prove to you, the devil, that these people will, these dumb Trump supporters will support me even if I shoot somebody in the face on live TV. Almost like you heard that before. Right? God so God gives the devil power over Abraham's life. He said, look, you can fuck his shit up all you want, just don't kill him. Don't do too much to him personally. So Job is hanging out at his house when all of a sudden there's a knock on the door. Hey, we just want to let you know there's a telegram service or some shit, I don't know. But all of your sons and daughters were in this building and it collapsed and it killed them all. And all of your livestock and this and that, because he had tons of lives. He was this really, really favored person. And Abraham says, well, God giveth and God taketh away. And so later happens, and the devil is back in front of God, and God's like, see, you took away all his stuff, and he still loves me. I'm awesome. And the devil's like, yeah, but that's just because you wouldn't let me, fuck with his health or anything like that. And God's like, fine, you just can't kill him. You can fuck with him, you just can't kill him. So now the devil gives Job like big old sores on his body that he has to use a shard of broken pottery to scrape off. That's what it says. And he makes them super sick and all this shit, takes everything away. And Lot's like, it is what it is. God is good. And that's like the first 2 chapters of the book. But then there's like another 40 pages, 40 chapters where it's Lot, or it's Job and his 3 friends. And the 3 friends are like, just come on, forsake God and let's go move forward. How are you going to not forsake God? You don't have any family. You don't have anything left. What are you doing? And Job's like, yeah, but I gotta still support God because, it is what it is. God giveth, God taketh. And this just goes back and forth. The same dumb shit between Job and these 3 guys for like 40 pages. And that's the story of Job. That's literally it. It's like the people that blame Sodom and Gomorrah for gay people. You clearly don't know the narrative. You're just stupid. You've heard somebody else say something, at some point, and you thought you would use it. But if anybody uses Sodom and Gomorrah to justify their gay bigotry, they're fucking morons. By the way, if you're watching, like, share, and sub. It helps out, apparently. You know, take 2 seconds, click share, click Facebook, write, this guy's crazy. Come tell him how. Come tell him why. And share. Do whatever you have to do to share. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to sub. All that shit. I'm the most censored motherfucker you've ever seen. Right? Or wait, you have seen people that have 20 viewers and 20 likes with 2,500 plus subscribers. You've seen that? Right? You never touched the bot. Right. I'm just making all this shit up out of my head. Right? I don't know what it says. I'm just literally making it up and it's all accurate. Notice how there's no, like, rebuttal or there's no, like, reasonable argument. It's just, no, again, the argument to say I've never read it. How stupid could you be? I'm the one that's engaging in the biblical conversation. Why aren't you? You know, the whole story of Sodom and Gomorrah is about, you know, incest, child rape. Like, it's probably the worst story in the Bible, though Exodus is the dumbest story, right? There's a lot of, like, the crown for dumbest is a highly fought after one. Like, there's a lot of stories that fight for that crown. But Exodus absolutely takes the cake. And it's interesting because Exodus is essential to Judaism. Without Exodus, you can't have Judaism. But Exodus is an impossibly stupid narrative where you supposedly have 2 to 3 million Jews wandering the desert for 40 years. How did they eat? How did they drink? Notice how when I say the whole share it on Facebook thing, the feed almost immediately gets tanked every single time. Have you guys seen that too? Have you guys noticed that too? As soon as I ask you guys to share, the numbers just plummet every single time. I'm sure that's just more coincidence, right? But Sodom and Gomorrah is the story of Lot, who is another old Jewish man, who is sitting outside the gates of Sodom, or sitting like on the gates of Sodom and Gomorrah. So both Sodom and Gomorrah are like these city towns. Like, it's such a stupid story. It's hard to really, like, they never expected you to actually think about it. You're supposed to just hear the interpretation from the only one in your little community who can even read. And he tells you this story with all the fire and brimstone. And you're supposed to be affected by it. You're not supposed to actually, like, think about it and ask questions, right? So Lot is sitting outside when these two angels, he doesn't know they're angels. But they come walking up. And Lot's like, hey, strange men, what are you doing? Why don't you come stay at my house tonight? And they're like, no thanks, weirdo. We got places to be. And Lot's like, oh, but I'll make you unleavened bread. And they're like, oh, shit. Can't pass up on the unleavened bread. So, it's like later. Now they're inside the house. Now, granted, it was dusk when the guys were walking up to Lot, when they first ran into each other, because Lot's like, hey, it's dusk. It'll be dark soon. You don't want to make this journey. It's where you're going is far. Why don't you stay in my house? I'll give you the bread. You can go tomorrow morning. It'll be beautiful. Why don't you do that? So now they're at his house. And suddenly, all of the people, all of the men in both Sodom and Gomorrah somehow know that these two guys are at Lot's house, and they're insatiably gay for those two guys specifically. So they all you know, they're banging on their anvils and they're putting horseshoes on horses and they're, I don't know, putting thatches on the roofs. I don't fucking know. Think of what you think, you know, minus whatever BC look like. But they're like, the people are outside and they're like, hey, Lot, send out those 2 men in your house because we want to rape them. We want to know them. We want to rape them. And so Lot goes out front. He's like, I'll handle this. And he goes out front and he's like, brothers, what are you doing? You, Tom and Dave, you guys are betrothed to my daughters. My little virgin daughters. And we're talking about Jewish communities from back then. So daughters were routinely married and sold off through the dowries at 12, 13, 14 years old. So Lot has 2 virgin daughters. So they must be at least, you know, or at the most 14, maybe, right? But Lot's like, what are you guys doing here? You're not supposed to be here. It's dark. How did you even know these guys were here? It's dark. We don't have telephones or internet or anything. How did you guys know they were here? It's almost like there was some sort of God-given magic spell put on you. And they're like, yeah, we're all super gay now. Like, not for each other, because it's not like they were all just fucking each other, all those dudes. They were like, no. We all want to fuck those 2 dudes. Fucking that's gay, that's gross. We don't want to fuck our neighbors and our fellow townsmen. We want to fuck those 2 strangers that just showed up that we shouldn't know are at your house. And Lot's like, that is completely unacceptable. but, you know, you've come all this way. You know, you've got you're raping, you know, energy going on. I don't want to have any good raping energy go to waste. How about this? How about I give you my 2 virgin daughters and you guys can do whatever you want with them. Just leave those 2 dudes alone that just showed up like an hour ago. The strangers. And thankfully, the rape mob was like, no, that's gross. Those are little girls. They're like, no, we don't want your daughters. Thank you for the offer. We appreciate it. But no, thank you. We'd rather rape these 2 men we shouldn't know are in there. And so they start coming towards Lot. Oh, man, we want to rape. And just before they get to him, the door opens, a hand grabs Lot, pulls him inside the house, and at the same time, with 3 snaps in a Z formation, they make everybody in town blind. All the men outside the door. Now they're blind. And even though they were like feet from the door, they can't find the doorknob. Oh, we're blind now. And then, it's just later. We don't actually know, like, how the party dispersed or anything like that. It's just later. And granted, this all takes place in like a 12-hour period, right? They showed up at sunset, and you know, God's going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah tomorrow. And that's what the angels go in. They tell, hey, Lot, you know, we weren't supposed to tell you this, but since you offered your virgin daughters to help us out, you must be a really good man. we're going to let you know that God's planning on destroying both Sodom and Gomorrah. He's going to rain fire and brimstone from the sky. You know, he loves you. Fire and brimstone down from the sky. I have 5 viewers and 22 likes. Share the shit out of this feed. They clearly do not want someone like me reaching people because I make sense. Sorry. You can hate it all you want, but I make sense. So like, share, and sub. Help the fuck out. They tell Lot, you know, God's going to rain the fire and brimstone. You got to get the fuck out of here. And Lot says, oh, but I'm so old. I can't go very far. There's a little town a couple of clicks away. How about, can we go there instead? And the angels are like, all right, let me see. And whip out their little cell phones and they call up God, who's at dinner. And I don't, you know, these angels were like mediocre angels, because when they call, God's like, oh, fuck. What is it, Tony? And if you've ever been in this kind of sales situations where you were an in-home salesperson, you know what I'm talking about. Where you have to, it's a script. So no matter what you get on the phone call, you have to pretend like it's the greatest phone call you've ever had. Hey, God. Yeah, it's Tony. What do you want, Tony? Well, I'm telling you something. I'm here with Lot. He's given us the most amazing unleavened bread. I mean, I don't have to tell you. You saw it, but he offered up his virgin daughters so we wouldn't get butt raped by the town that you must have put a spell on to make everybody specifically gay for us, because they weren't gay for each other, just for us. But we're kind of wondering, you know you have the fire and brimstone set up for tomorrow morning. Is there any way you could make an exception and let Lot and his family go on to this little town down the road? And God's like, oh, Tony, this better not be wood. You better not be writing wood, Tony. This better not be another timber. Oh, no, God. He's really excited. He can't wait to start his new life in the new town. He's really excited. He's saying, yeah, he's definitely good. He's not going to stay in the fire and brimstone. He's going to go, all right, Tony, listen, I'm okay in this, but this better not fucking fall through, Tony, or it's your ass. Click. All right, God. Okay, no, I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot, God. Yep, yeah, I will. Oh, I will. You tell your wife. Haha. I said hi as well. All right. Thanks a lot, God. Have a good... And you could tell the light on the phone had already gone off. And he's like, oh my gosh, Lot, he never does this. He never does this. But this one time, he said, if you promise to go to the town and make things work, because again, I don't know if there are people in this town or what. Doesn't really say, but then everything will be okay. And so he's like, the angels are like, your 2 daughters, you can go get their betrothed husbands, and you and your wife, you can all go to this town. And Lot's like, okay. Now remember, again, this is all happening in one night. So Lot then goes to the homes of the betrothed to be husbands, and he's like, hey, Tony, hey Bill, hey Dave. Those are the names I used, I don't remember. Hey, remember how earlier today you were blind or you were gay and then blind for a minute? And they were like, yeah, that's fucking weird, don't you think? Never had that shit happen before. And it's weird too, because I was only gay for these 2 guys that I shouldn't have even known were at your house, but I somehow knew they were there, and I was somehow super gay for them only. Yeah, well, I gotta tell you something. And then, as weird as I was blind too. And then I don't remember what happened, but now here we are. And Lot's like, yeah, I know. So what it was there were these angels. And they're gonna, God's gonna destroy both Sodom and Gomorrah tomorrow. because everyone here is so gay. And they were like, what? Nobody here was gay. We were just gay. It's like God wanted us to be gay or something, because nobody here was gay. We didn't fuck each other. We just wanted to fuck those two men that we shouldn't have known were at your house. So that's bullshit. You must be lying. We were just suddenly gay and then blind because there was something in the water or something. You crazy old man. So Lot's like, all right, fuck you then. And he leaves. And then he forgets to set the rooster or whatever the alarm clock is back then. But the angels are like, hey, what are you still doing here? And they were like, well, you know, I'm old. It's hard for me to get going. And the angels are like, all right, fuck this. And they dinkle, dinkle, dink. And now they're outside the town. And they're like, all right, you got to go off in that direction to the town. Again, not going to, specifically say how far it is. But just use Godspeed. And whatever you do, don't look back. Because if you look back, you'll get turned into a pillar of salt. And so now Lot, his two daughters and his wife, they go Godspeeding across the desert to get to this other little town, while the fire and brimstone is raining down behind them. And of course, because women are the ultimate, problem in the Bible, they're the ultimate piece of shit, his wife, dumb broad, turns and looks. And of course, she gets turned into a pillar of salt. Now, the only way it would make sense is if she was in front and they saw it, because if she was behind them and they looked back to see that she was a pillar of salt, they would have been turned into pillars of salt as well. So they finally get to the town. And again, it doesn't mention whether there are people there or not. But Lot's like, hey, I don't think I trust those two angels. I think they might have been lying. The thing is, I just happen to have this cave set up way up at the top of that mountain over there. Way, way up there. It's a little cave. It got set up with enough food to last a while. Some beds, some clothes and shit. And most importantly, there's a shit ton of alcohol up there. I had it all set up. It was my little getaway place. When I wanted to get away from your mother, I would go to my little cave fortress, my little hideaway, and I would just drink myself into oblivion. So they Mario jump. They Mario jump, boink, 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 up the mountain. And now they're in the mountain. And now they can look back. Because before they couldn't look back, but for some reason now they can look back. And they see that Sodom and Gomorrah are just smoldering ruins at this point. And I guess they think that, again, the way they talk, it's like there's nobody left on earth, right? Because the daughters are having this little conversation. And this is the best part about the Bible that I love to ask Christians. And I forgot to ask it earlier, but it's the ultimate fuck you, your stuff is stupid thing. And none of them can even begin to answer for it, right? There are many, many times in the Bible where a conversation is being held between two people in secret. And yet somehow the conversation word for word makes it into the Bible. How did that happen? Especially when the people were, killed or something afterward. Are there little like naked butt, what's his name? Cupid Yee? Are there little Cupid Yees with notepads or iPads, and they just take notes of everybody's conversation so it can be compiled into a Bible? How the fuck did they goddamn know? How do they know this conversation between Lot's two daughters? Because Lot's two daughters are in the cave. Nobody's around to hear them. And they say, older sister says, hey, younger sister. No Masonic shit going on there. Look at all this symbolism. Look at all this symbolism. Jesus Christ. Says, little sister, you know how our father is a great, great man? She's like, yeah, he was willing to give us to the rape mob so that they wouldn't rape those two guys. He's an awesome guy. Yeah, yes, little sister, you're right. Or yes, big sister, you're right. Well, little sister, it's really too bad that he doesn't have a son to carry his name on. Right? And little sister's like, yeah, no, all he has is us two piece of shit daughters. And apparently there's no one left in the world for, Lot to end up being hooked up with and then possibly have a little boy child, a little boy chick, a boy chick. So the sisters get the brilliant idea. Older sister says, tonight, we're going to get father so drunk that he doesn't know what he's doing. Because if the man knows what he's doing, it's a problem. If the woman knows, she's the bane of our existence. Who gives a shit if she knows? But they're going to get the man so drunk that he doesn't know what he's doing. This man that was so old that he couldn't walk very far. They're going to get him so drunk that he doesn't know that he's fucking his own daughters, and yet his dick's still going to work somehow. Whiskey dick doesn't affect you back then, I guess. And then the next day she says, sister, I'm a 14-year-old virgin, but we got father drunk and I slept with him last night and I'm pregnant. And it's a boy, I know it, I'm pregnant. It's the next day, I know I'm pregnant already. I'm 14, I have experience with this shit. Tonight, you're going to do the same thing. So now, Lot he's old. He's so drunk that he couldn't remember fucking his own daughter. And I guess he's not even hungover. Because they then get him, because they have the endless supply of alcohol in the cave. They then get him drunk again. Younger sister does the same thing. The next day she says, older sister, I too am pregnant with a boy. We succeeded. And they go on to give birth to one child that would be the father of the Ammonites, and the other would be the father of the Moabites. Now, this just gets even better. So we have the Nation of Islam, right? The black Muslims. This scary black Muslim Nation of Islam. If I tell you, or I ask you, who do you think founded the Nation of Islam? Probably a scary black guy, wouldn't you say? I think you all know who that piece of shit is, right? Right? You know who that piece of shit is? Isn't that interesting? Oops, sorry, baby girl. Sorry. That hurt. Oh, I'm so sorry. So we have that. Oops. And that. Look at the similarities. That. And that. This guy is called Wallace Fard Muhammad. And he is known to be the founder of the Nation of Islam. That guy. Even though his existence is fucking bullshit, he appears in Detroit around 1930 and then disappears around 1934. But one of the people that he partnered with when he was first founding this Nation of Islam was another really prominent black leader at the time who preached that black people came from the Moabites. So the reason why black people are black people is because of the fucking incestual relationship between Lot and his daughters that I guess, went from a Jew to a black guy. Oh, look, we have a piece of shit guy considers himself a rabbi on here. Fucking disgusting pedophiles. You are the worst people in the world. And I cannot wait to eliminate that cult. The cult itself. Now, like I always say, for those who remove their supremacist beliefs, their freedom includes a Passover, my feast. Right? If you are willing to get rid of the genocidal, pedophile, disgusting belief structure that you have, then you are absolutely going to be allowed to stay in the United States when I win the presidency in 2028. The more of you that we can have, the more of you who escape the cult and become good stand-up citizens, the better. But anybody that wants to continue believing in the cult, we're going to ship you off. We're going to send you where you want to be, right? You want your own land, your own place. And the last money that you will get off of the Goyim, that you will steal from the Goyim, will pay for that plane ticket to send you to the Jewish Autonomous Oblast. We will not be sending you to Palestine so you can kill people. We will send you to the Jewish Autonomous Oblast, your own place, your own country. I'm not a National Socialist Zionist. You guys know what Nazi stands for, right? The National Socialist and the Zionist ZI party came together to form the Nazi party. It's all fake bullshit. You know how you know it's all fake? You know how you know the Holocaust narrative is all fake? Because how many of you have actually, outside of my feed, heard of the Havara Agreement? How many of you were taught about the Havara Agreement in school? How many of you were taught about the Zionist federations and the Jewish agency and shit like that when you were in school? None of you. Don't even bother lying. Because you were given one narrative. You were given the narrative that the Jews were so persecuted, blah, 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 blah. Oh, Hitler. Even Netanyahu recently said Hitler didn't want to kill the Jews. He just wanted them out. He just wanted them out of Germany because they were fucking everything up. He was sick of Semitism. Because remember, Semitism means policy or predisposition favorable to Jews. Policy or predisposition favorable to Jews. Right? That's what that means. There's no denying it. So when I say I'm proud of my anti-Semitism, it's because I don't believe anybody should have policy or predisposition that's favorable to them. You should be judged on your actions, on who you are as a human being. Not what cult you align yourself with. And if you do align yourself with the cult, well then you need to be held responsible. Because metzitzia is a fucking crime. It's pedophilia. The ritual of sexual abuse, the binding of Isaac rituals, and all that shit that Israel Hayom, bottom of darkness, talked about this. There's no Goyim. There's no anti-Semitism involved in that fucking piece. Israel Hayom is Jewish top to bottom. It's Sheldon Adelson's paper. It doesn't get much more Jewish than that. And it talks about that the ritualistic sexual abuse is everywhere in Israel. North, south, east, west, from the Hasidiotics to the fucking seculars. All of them. All of them do it.
This is the correct one, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hollywoodism, the most important film ever made.
I just had an amazing conversation with Lucas.
I love when people cry about you can't say that. You can't say that. They said it. Hollywoodism. It's available on YouTube. It's easy to find. I'm going to post you a link after the fact.
Yeah, Lucas is right there, man.
Hollywoodism tells you everything you need to know. Hollywoodism tells you why you think the way you think. Israel Hayom Bottom of Darkness tells you why they think the way they think.
That's a fucking beautiful. This is a fucking 22-year-old kid that,
It's everywhere.
Indoctrinated in school and everything. And man, the shit coming out of his mouth, I was so proud of this kid. Talking about the Holocaust, and it didn't happen like they taught us in school. He's saying they spent so much time describing what these concentration camps were like, and blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, my dad described what his concentration camp was like. He was on a soccer team.
Yep.
They had doctors.
They had theater groups.
He goes, I was reading something that said Auschwitz had a swimming pool.
Mm-hmm.
I said, yep.
A nice swimming pool,
Yep.
not like an Olympic, really nice swimming pool. They were work camps. We had the same thing here for the Japanese.
Exactly.
They just called them internment camps,
Yep.
but it was the same thing.
Yep. He was like, have you used the AI translator on Hitler's speeches? He goes, dude, he was saying all the shit that's happening now.
Yeah.
He goes, I feel so confused inside because I was taught this man was so evil, but everything I've heard him saying has been like promoting peace and freedom for everybody.
There should be statues of Hitler all over Israel. Because if it wasn't for the bullshit Hitler narrative, then none of that shit would work. But again, what people don't understand is the Havara Agreement. Like I said, none of you were taught about the Havara Agreement. None of you were taught about the Jewish federations. None of you were taught about the Zionist agencies and all that other shit. And the Havara Agreement was signed in 1933. And it was an agreement. It was the Havara Agreement or transfer agreement signed in 1933 between the Nazis, those evil Nazis, and the Zionist federations, the Anglo-Palestinian Bank under the direction of the Jewish Agency, and whatever, I don't remember what the other one was, but it was an agreement to, it didn't just allow, it financed the transfer of 60 million German Jews from Germany to Palestine. Not around the world, specifically to Palestine, to start colonizing Palestine. Almost like they were setting up a narrative where after they did their little thing, they would be able to establish Israel. But from 1933 to 1939, they were transferred from Israel, or from Germany to Palestine. And it almost seems like it was a pretty big money laundering scheme as well, because they were transferring funds from one thing to another, but everyone that was transferred was allowed to keep their wealth. Right? Look at this dumb rabbi says, none such exist. What the fuck does that even mean? Can you speak English? Is English difficult for you? Let's see how wrong I am. Right? I love when dumbasses say shit like this.
That's not rational. I'm a good mechanic. I'll take care of my own.
So, again, we're on the Wikipedia page that Naftali Bennett admitted in 2010 Israel controls Wikipedia to ensure that everything written is balanced and Zionist in nature. He didn't say balanced and paints Jews fairly, balanced and paints Israel in a good light. He literally said balanced and Zionist. And we know that Zionism is about the elimination of the Arabs from Palestine to give that land to the Jews.
He goes, Jews isn't even a thing. It doesn't mean they're from somewhere. He was so cute.
Right.
It's
They're not a race.
It's a religion. It's a choice.
It's a cult. It is a cult. The wording is specific. You have to start telling people the true wording of things. It is a cult.
Okay, but that shuts people's ears. That makes it sound.
Oh, okay. So you're saying you're having a conversation with somebody, you're already talking about it, and if you call it a cult, that's going to throw everything off. Gotcha. Okay. The Havara agreement, which doesn't exist, there's no such thing, or transfer agreement, on a page that can't be edited, it's all locked up, okay, was an agreement between Nazi Germany and Zionist organizations signed on August 25th, 1933. The agreement was finalized after 3 months of talks by the Zionist Federations of Germany, the Anglo-Palestinian Bank, under the directive of the Jewish Agency, and the economic authorities of Nazi Germany. It was a major factor in making possible the approximately 60,000, did I say 60 million? Sorry, I said 60,000, 60 million. There were only 3 million Jews in Europe at the time. So when they try to claim the whole 6 million shit, there were only 3 million at the time in Europe, and most of them escaped here. So the whole 6 million that they had been pushing for years decades prior to, they were programming that number of 6 million Jews are in trouble. There's something called 6 million lies. You can look it up, you can find it. There's actually two versions. There's one that's an older version, and then there's a newer one that another guy made. But they highlight all of these old newspapers that from as much as 20 years prior, talking about, claiming that 6 million Jews were in trouble, 6 million this, they multiple things saying this. Look at the dumb penis sucking rabbi, right? Look at the disgusting rabbi, the one that's identifying as a rabbi. All he can say is, that's rubbish. That's rubbish. Stop saying it. Stop saying what you're saying. You're not supposed to say these things. Yep, because I'm making it up. I'm making up the Havara agreement. Approximately 60,000 German Jews to Palestine between 1933 and 1939. What part am I making up? What part am I making up? I am a mandated professional. I've studied my faith and philosophy for years. Yeah, you studied one thing. That sure makes you smart. And if you're so well studied, then why don't you explain to us why metzitzia is okay? Come on, big boy. Explain why it's okay, why the mitzvah is okay. Explain to me why women's vaginas are so disgusting that they need to be cleansed every month in the mikvahs. Why the mikvah is built before even the temple is built. Come on, Rabbi. Talk to us about metzitzia. Tell us. Oh, it's a layered topic, he says. It's a layered topic. What a fucking cowardly, typical friar thing to say. These friars are ridiculous. They're ridiculous. It's a layered topic. Yep. Like, you see this? Even this guy can't say why it's okay. Why it's okay that moils thousands of times per year are putting bloody baby penises in their mouth. Come on. That shouldn't be acceptable for anybody. That's that Semitism, right? That's that policy and predisposition that you're just supposed to know this exists and be like, eh. What they always do too is they hide behind the herpes thing. Well, only a couple of people ever got herpes. Only a couple babies got herpes and died from it. Especially considering the rabbi or the moil knew that he had the herpes virus and refused to step down. These are the only times when you actually see stuff happen. Here he says, look at his comments. We are chosen, he says. Yeah, in the book you wrote, go figure. Go figure, the fake story that you wrote. Just like how Hebrew is the newest language on the planet. You guys know that? Hebrew is the youngest language on the planet. It's all fake. The idea of this ancient Jewish history, it's fake. It's fake. They invented Hebrew. A guy named Eliezer Ben Yehuda invented Hebrew right around 1903 or so. Late 1800s, early 1900s. If they had the Hebrew Bible and they had all these Hebrew scripts and all these other things, why didn't they have a Hebrew dictionary until this guy invented it? And they said, according to, well, you know what? Because, you know, the crybaby will say it's not true unless I'm reading it. So we go with Eliezer Ben Yehuda. Eliezer Ben Yehuda. Eliezer Ben Yehuda. This fucking creepy looking weirdo. Eliezer Ben Yehuda, born Eliezer Yitzhak Perlman. Gee, I wonder why he changed his name to sound more ethnic. Because Yitzhak Perlman, well, that sounds very European, Ukrainian, United Statesian. But Ben Yehuda, oh, well, that sounds like he's probably from that he sounds more Semitic. Doesn't it sound more Semitic? Look, if you're watching this and you think that they're chosen and special, don't like this page. But if you think you're sick of this arrogant, disgusting pedophile cult pulling strings, make sure you share this feed. Make sure you like this feed. Make sure you sub. Do you have any authority to be taking time of study? To be talking of the study? Do I have any authority? Who should I get authority? Who's going to give me the authority? Who gives me the authority? Who would I have to ask for such authority? To be able to read. Because I'm reading you the narrative that they want us to know. And this guy is losing his shit. Oh, go, look what we have. We actually caught a rabbi in the web today. And look at how stupid he ends up looking. He can't say anything that matters. So he just keeps going. When I asked him to explain why metzitzia b'peh is okay, he said, it's a layered topic. That's the best he can do. Oh, you have been watching and you've just been such a coward that you haven't said anything until today? That sort of fits the bill, doesn't it? Because, you know, you're just a bunch of fucking disgusting cowards. Well, only time you guys get big and bad is when it's against a woman or a child. And or there's a IDF soldier with a gun standing behind you. Oh, well, there you go. Algo just gave me the authority, you dumb coward.
Ooh, ICE agent exposes truth about his salary.
Kicked out of 109 countries, but it wasn't your fault, right? Exactly. The thing is, nobody talks about why they get kicked out. They love to pretend like they're the most persecuted people on the planet, but they never want to talk about why. Do you guys know that Hanukkah is a celebration of circumcision? It's all about circumcision and baby dicks and shit, man. It's nasty. But the Hanukkah celebration that we're all forced to endure every year is based on the Maccabee revolt. And the Maccabee revolt is Johann Maccabee, or Johannes Maccabee, whatever. At the time, the society was good, and they were like, hey, all that circumcision shit needs to stop. And the way it's presented is they were being persecuted because it gives three reasons in this order. They had to worship. They weren't allowed to worship on Saturdays. They had to worship on Sundays, which is something you can't enforce. They had to eat regular meat, not kosher meat. Again, not something that you can enforce. And the third thing was circumcision was outlawed. And so one day, while at one of the altars where they have to, give their burnt offerings, Maccabee just gets frustrated. And there's another Jewish guy there. And he's like, hey, you know what? I'm sick of this. I really want to start circumcising. He doesn't bring up, eating kosher food. He doesn't bring up worshiping on Sundays. His whole thing is about circumcision. And the other guy's like, hey, what are you talking about? It's not too bad. They just, they let us do what we want to do. They just don't want us hurting babies and shit anymore. And it's actually kind of gross. And Johannes is like, what? And he kills him. He kills his fellow Jew, who is like, nah, I'm good on the circumcision, bud. And then he kills like the overseer, the guard, the person in charge of the altar. He kills him. And he goes back to his house, his family house, and he just whips out the blade and he circumcises all of his kids. And he's like, fuck that. We're starting a campaign. And he goes to somehow they know where all of the Jews in that region live. And they can travel around the country, again, I assume using Godspeed. But whether it's walking or riding horses, I would imagine freshly circumcised, it doesn't feel good. But they go from family house, plant, farm, whatever, to farm where the Jews live, and they present them with the choice to circumcise and join the army, or they kill you. And there were some that didn't do it, so they killed them. So Jews went around the countryside killing other Jews who wouldn't circumcise until they eventually got up enough numbers that they felt that they could attack the Seleucid Empire, Seleucids, I'm not sure. Seleucid Empire, in which they did, and they got their asses kicked. And they got their asses kicked, and they got their asses kicked, and they got their asses kicked. And then, due to some like real shady fuckery at the top, poisonings and shady dealings with information and shit, they ended up getting the restrictions lifted. And they were now allowed to circumcise and do what they wanted to do circa minus 232 or so BC. Because, we have accurate records of that shit. But that wasn't enough for them. They went around killing and because they're such badasses. They went around doing all this shit. But that is why Hanukkah is celebrated today. It's to celebrate the Maccabee revolt. I am 65. My faith has kept me young and youthful. You are a withered old. Your bigotry has ages you. Yep. Or is it the adrenochrome that you're such a fan of?
Speaking of adrenochrome,
is it the adrenochrome?
Have you heard about Epstein's Ranch in New Mexico?
Yep.
The people that now own it?
Zorro Ranch, yeah. What? Yeah, the weirdos.
So they are. He just explained it. Okay, hold on. Let me fast forward there.
These people are right here. Do you know them? I'm gonna tell you. That's Don and Mary Catherine Huffines. I think that's how you pronounce it. Now, Don is a lawmaker in New Mexico.
A lawmaker.
They're also mega supporters at MAGA. They are. They're big supporters over there. And would you believe it, honey, if I told you that their son, Russell, works in the White House? He sure does. He does. Shocker. I know. But if those ties to Trump weren't enough, do you know where their house is? Jeffrey Epstein's ranch in New Mexico. They own it now. That's their home sweet home. I know. Listen, I've always heard that saying, where there's smoke, there's fire. But at this point, honey, I'm just going to say where there's a tie to Epstein, there's a Trump. Now, recently, that ranch out in New Mexico has come under a lot of scrutiny, honey, because let's just say that there's some allegations that maybe there's a whole lot of humans that are sleeping for a real long time out there. You get what I'm saying? Allegedly, this is alleged. Now, honey, listen, if that wasn't scandalous enough, you know what I think the real crime here is? That forehead.
So that's where they buried all the, and so then Trump said, okay, you guys go live in this ranch so that people can't, you know, it's not put into probate or blah, 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 it gets dug up, like,
Yeah, I mean,
fuck?
what do you know, I always say this to her, it's like she watches these other things, it's like, what the fuck do you think we've been doing this whole time? Did you just tell yourself it was because I just didn't like them? They never did anything to me. I mean, I've worked for plenty of them and they were assholes, but that just comes with the territory. But literally, everything I've been talking about for the last 10 fucking years, especially since 2020 when I literally said I'm going to focus on these pieces of shit, right? It's all come true. What have I lied about? What have I even gotten wrong? Here, Eliezer Ben Yehuda was a Russian Jewish linguist and lexicographer and journalist who immigrated to Jerusalem in 1881. Remember the auto-emancipation pamphlet of 1882? Gosh, I'm sure that's just coincidence. He is renowned as the lexicographer of the first Hebrew dictionary and is also the editor of the Jerusalem-based Havzi, one of the first Hebrew newspapers published in mandatory Palestine. Palestine doesn't exist. I don't know what you're talking about. Palestine doesn't exist. Right, Charlie? Ben Yehuda was the primary driving force behind the revival of the Hebrew language. Now, wait, let's just see here. To accomplish the task, Ben Yehuda insisted with the Committee of the Hebrew Language that, to quote the committee records, quote, in order to supplement the deficiencies of the Hebrew language, the committee coins words according to the rules of grammar and linguistic analogy from Semitic roots, Aramaic, and especially Arabic roots. How is it the oldest language and all this shit and they have to supplement it? How does the language just disappear? Yiddish stuck around. They were able to keep Yiddish. We had nothing to do with it, man. Shut up. Charlie was a sacrifice from the beginning. If you look at Charlie's donor sheets, they look like bar mitzvah sign-in sheets. It's literally, they created Charlie because they weren't going to sacrifice one of their own. Can you imagine how delicious it would have been if it would have been Ben Shapiro instead? Oh, that would have been so much better. So much better. But they're not going to sacrifice their own. They don't do that. Literally, if you look up the Secure Community Network and you look up all of the events that led up to the Secure Community Network, this secret organization that connects, quote, 90% of American friars. Pretty crazy when you think about it. And it gives them up to date. Like, it's so fucking crazy. Spend a day looking into the Secure Community Network. It'll blow your fucking mind. But when you look into the supposed events that took place, either you hear stories like 4 of them were taken hostage and they all managed to escape, or you get some, the guy attacked a Hanukkah celebration, stabbing people with a machete. And then, of course, he gets away, and then they arrest a crazy man and lock him away in the crazy home. Grafton Thomas. How many Graftons have you met in your life? 6, 7? Grafton. Or even the fake-ass Pittsburgh synagogue shooting that you literally have no proof of whatsoever. There's no footage that shows any of it. There's not even the standard footage that you see after a shooting where the people inside are let out and they'll have their hands on their head or they'll have their hands up. And they'll be led from the inside to underneath a tent somewhere where the helicopters can't see them. And they'll be debriefed. You don't even see that happening on that day. Nothing. There's literally no footage to show you anything. But there was an interview.
Alive in Israel?
Yeah, of course he is. Of course he is. So the idea that there's a photo of him dead in the first place makes no sense. Right? Because why would there have been a cameraman there who just happened to snap this shot, like in this one little... Why would he have even been there? And the thing is, it's attached to a guy who, when asked about it, gets all weird. He doesn't say, oh yeah, I took that picture and blah, blah, blah. It's really crazy. Like, there's a guy called Cooper, Scooper of Coop in his channel. He's made some really great videos on this shit. If this dude wasn't such a Jesus pusher, I would say he's legit, but he's probably just another one of the Israel bots. The Israel influencers paid $7,000 to $8,000 a month to tell you not to focus on them. Not to focus on them. Don't you do it. You are making serious claimants. Yep, I am. Notice how you're not telling me I'm wrong about anything, though? But yeah, Charlie was created by him, served his purpose, and even, if he was shot, he might not have even been shot. It might just be a fucking, a show. So much of it makes no sense. None of it makes any sense. Literally none of it. Literally none of it. From the footage that you see, to the explanation given, to the footage that exists after the fact, the guy taking the cameras, the way that people responded to it, everything that happened, none of it makes any sense. It seems like an operation. And the thing about Israel is they love doing false flag operations. By the way, if you like this shit, if you agree, then like, share, and sub. Help the fuck out. Now the rabbi's freaking out. He can't even get his yours correct. Yours should be punished, he said. You should be punished. I should be punished for telling the truth? Aren't you a rabbi? Aren't you a man of God? Why is a rabbi flipping out right now instead of just explaining things like a normal, intelligent person who's been studying his faith forever? You guys want to see something weird and disgusting? Look at this shit. Look at this piece of shit. Oh, look at that. You guys know what that is? Yeah, that's the Talmud. There you go. That's it. Fuck this shit. But I don't know what I'm talking about. Difference is I am professional. Oh, you sound professional. You sound professional with you crybaby. You can't say that. Stop saying these things. You sound like a real professional there. It's a layered topic. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, it's fake? Is it? Is it fake? Let's see. Oh.
Better not be fake. I paid good money for that.
You got to go from the back to the front because, you know, they're backwards and shit. Oh, and it's upside down. It's weirdly bound like that. Yeah. Does that look fake to you? Does that look like a fake bunch? I mean, of course, the story's fake, for sure. Is that fake? Look, it's in English. Look at that. Oh, it's a bunch of bullshit. Yep. It's fake. It's fake. The Schottenstein edition. Talmud Bavli. You cool now? You okay? The Talmud takes a professional to interpret, right? Because it's bullshit. Right? That's what you do. You make something totally bullshit. When your shit is totally bullshit, you make it confusing so people can't just read it. Why don't you explain to us why it's okay that if a friar rapes a child as long as she's 3 years and 1 day old, he then has to pay the full dowry, and she technically belongs to him now. You know, like Jeffrey Sokol on TCAP tried to do? Why don't you explain how I'm wrong about that? Oh, it's not rape, he says. He just said it's not rape. That was his response. When an adult has sex with a child, it's not rape.
What is it then?
You see how stupid they are? You see when they let their emotions get the best of them and they just start speaking normally, they fuck up and say things that they shouldn't because he doesn't have his guard up. He's just mad right now. So he's like, it's not rape. Oh, damn it. It's an act of God, he says. What the fuck? Thank you. Thank you, you pedophile piece of shit.
You just proved everything he's been saying is right. Oops. You're going to get demerits for that one. You better not share that shit with the club.
Unfucking real. Yeah, this is real, Kaylee. You think I've been fucking playing around this whole time? This is who they steal your money and they give it to. So they can live their life and study mansions and shit. 12 kids. They don't work. They don't do shit. They don't contribute at all. Yeah, everybody look him up, man. Rabbi Ebosh. Joined 6 years ago, has no subscribers. What a surprise. You see this shit? What do you think my motivations are? If I wanted to be all rich and famous and popular, you know what I'd be telling you? Jesus loves ya. Jesus loves ya. Guess what? My birthday's on Christmas. Oh, want to see something? You guys want to see something? Oh, look. It's Guy, the son of Guy, born on Christmas. Come on, guys. Come on. Now I get to be okay. If you want to be fame and fortune and popularity and all that shit, the last thing you do is talk bad about the fucking friars. And everybody knows that shit. Dave Chappelle told you that shit. After Kanye came out and said what he had to say, and it just coincidentally worked out that Dave Chappelle was on Saturday Night Live that following Saturday. And he said, there are 2 words you don't say in Hollywood and anything good ever comes out of it, and that is the and Jews. He started his whole opening thing by reading a note saying, I support all my Jewish friends and family, thank you, blah, 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 blah. He got in a lot of trouble recently when he was like, you know, we got to have a code word. We got to have a code word that you guys know that if I start saying it, then they've gotten to me. Because, you know, that you see all these guys out there who they've clearly gotten to. So I need you guys to know if I say this code word, we got to come up with something that you guys know that I'll never, ever say. And if I start saying it, I've been corrupted. Oh, I know what it is. I stand with Israel. Mic drop, walked off. Probably the greatest fucking sign-off ever. Act of God, he said. Well, that's going to be the most crazy shit I heard today. Yeah, it's just the beginning. The act of God is not actual intercourse. It's the ritual. What? He's trying to dig himself out of the hole now. This is why I don't block people, right? If you let people talk, they expose themselves. Do you think I would have woke up today thinking that there's going to be some guy that identifies as a rabbi and then calls child rape not rape but an act of God? Oh, wait, it's not the intercourse that's the act of God. It's the ritual behind it. Notice how he didn't deny the dowry aspect, like the guy has to pay the full dowry to the family, that the little girl that he rapes now belongs to him. Never mind that shit, right? He leaves all that part out. This is who the bad guy is, guys. This is who has us fighting each other because our skin colors are different. Or because that dude likes to sleep with dudes and you don't. Or because your sky daddy said this and his sky daddy said that. You know, they have us fighting over the stupidest shit. Well, me, I'm a Republican. I'm on the right side of the bird. I'm the right wing. Oh, well, me, I'm different. I'm the left wing. I'm the Democrat. Well, actually, the Democrat would be like, oh, I'm the Democrat. I am the good side. I'm the left side. It's all stupid, you dumb fucks. For years, we have practiced the act of kindness. What is that even supposed to fucking mean? That's his response? You've practiced the act of kindness where? I know that you've been doing a slow genocide in Palestine for the last 76 plus years. 77 years. 78 years. Yeah, 78 years at this point. That's not any act of kindness. And the only reason, the most fucked up part is, they could have taken Palestine decades ago. They literally corralled them into some place that they were blocked in on all sides. And nobody was allowed to get into them. You know, like a pen, right? And let's just say you needed some Goyim to be used for your rituals, for your bloodletting, for your blood libel rituals. You need it, especially considering how many of the Palestinians were actually Christian. It was actually a decent portion of them. So the kidnapping and bloodletting of Christian children, if you want a hamburger, do you kill all of your cows so you can have a really good hamburger one night? No. You got to kill a certain amount of cows and not kill a certain amount of cows so you can have hamburgers next week, next month, next year, the year after that. You want to be able to have hamburgers every time, anytime you want them. So you don't overkill them. You know, you do the least amount you can so you can maintain your hamburger patch. Now look at Palestine again. Do you guys see it? Do you guys see it? Do you guys see what I'm fucking saying? Palestine could have been taken decades ago. They didn't want to kill all the Palestinians at once because they enjoy killing them. They enjoy killing them. Hey, look, the rabbi's actually telling the truth for once. Right? Because if you go here and you look, good old Jesus, good old JC, good old Jesus, also referred to as Jesus Christ, Jesus of Nazareth, and by various other names and titles, was a first century Jewish preacher and religious leader in the Roman province of Judea. He is the central figure of Christianity, the world's largest religion. Most consider Jesus to blah, 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 blah. He's the first century Jewish preacher. According to Christian tradition, Jesus was circumcised at 8 days old. That's not Christian tradition, that's Jewish tradition. They wait 8 days because it takes 7 days for the kid to be purified after touching the nasty vagina. Going through the nasty vagina, the moil's not going to touch the kid for the first 7 days. So they wait till the 8th day. That's why they do it on the 8th day. Presented to the temple at 40 days old, baptized by John the Baptist as a young adult, after 40 days and nights of fasting in the wilderness, began his public ministry, blah, 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 blah. It's all just dumb fucking shit. It's dumb. And again, hey, Rabbi, tell us about the father of the Jewish people. The real bad guy of the Bible is not Satan. Satan makes few appearances. And when he does, just like in the book of Job, God is all about it. God loves him some Satan. Right? Yeah, your God Yahweh is a fucking dickhead. Anybody that would choose to worship that piece of shit is a piece of shit themselves. Because Yahweh is a dumb fucking dickhead. But again, it's like the Exodus narrative is essential to Judaism. Without Exodus, you can't have Judaism. But Judaism is the dumbest, most impossible story in the book. For 40 years and 40 nights, or 40 years, 300, or sorry, for 40 years, between 2 and 3 million people wandered around the desert for 40 fucking, I mean, come on, 40 years? And what they survived on was manna that appeared with the morning dew on the desert sand. And it was like a resin, tar-like substance. And it would only last for 24 hours unless it was a Sabbath. Then that manna would last for 48 hours. But every single morning, the women folk had to get out and go harvest manna. 3 million people's worth of manna for them to eat every day. Are you fucking insane? Do you know how stupid that is? It's literally such a dumb story that they had to create the manna thing to account for it. Because people were like, how do you have 3 million people wandering around the desert for 40 years? What did they survive on? What did they drink every day? What did all their animals drink? You know, you need a lot of fucking water in those kinds of situations. And imagine 3 million. Oh my God, are we there yet? Can you imagine how awful that would be? But these guys are just so fucking stupid. It's so insane. They don't need Satan. Yahweh is a motherfucker. Yahweh is just a dumbass dickhead. But this is who they are, man. It's so stupid. The Bible itself is a Jewish fairy tale. It's not real. You know? It's just not a real story. None of it's real. It's all just stupid made up shit. And you know it's stupid made up shit because if I tell you the same narrative but I use different names, you're going to be like, that's stupid. That sounds like the Bible. That's stupid. Islam and Christianity are like identical. It's just, it's just manufactured to be a little different for whatever region. You're sick, disgusting pedos is what you are. You're genocidal pedophiles. And you haven't denied any of it. Again, the bottom of darkness exploiting. This is what happened. So, from a very young age, they literally rape their own children, and they do these crazy rituals where they take them out to the woods, and they and it sounds like I'm making this shit up, right? It sounds like some sort of crazy conspiracy theorist, anti-Semitism, blah blah blah. Israel Hayom, Bottom of Darkness, lays this out for you. They interview, I think it's 10 people, but it's, they have hundreds, thousands of cases, and those are the ones that get reported. Most of them don't even get reported because the ones that do get reported, the police just close it real quick and nothing ever happens. Everyone knows it happens. Most people have been subjected to it. But from a very young age, they are ritualistically sexually abused, burnt, drowned, had shofars stuck inside them, and the rabbi in the white robe leads the whole thing. It's, again, these aren't my words, right? This is their shit. Israel Hayom, Bottom of Darkness, will tell you all about it. This is not some conspiracy theory of Guy Williams, not even a little bit. Israel Hayom, there you go. Israel's number one free weekly, propaganda bullshit. Children raped in ritual ceremonies expose the horrors. Multiple women recount organized abuse, and it's so hard to read it, like it'll keep trying to throw you off. Look at this shit. Keeps trying to throw me off. Multiple women recount organized abuse, including ritual ceremonies conducted by people they knew, even close family members. After months of interviews with victims, their families, treatment professionals, and experts in Israel and abroad, a disturbing picture emerges with descriptions difficult to read. It's right here. Right? I suffered painful sodomy. Truly felt like I was splitting in two. It's a terrible experience, but there's something about these things, perhaps in their strangeness, that's like maybe the hardest component is that if you tell people about these things, they'll think you're crazy. I remember many types of severe sexual abuse, but there's something about these ritualistic abuses that makes them the bottom of darkness. The idea that in a society where everybody already knows this is happening, that the main sort of protecting aspect is that it's this accepted notion that if the victims tell people what happened, people just won't believe them and will call them crazy. Their personalities suddenly shift. These are kids, children. Personalities suddenly shift. They have all these marks all over their bodies and shit. They're crying. They're all these things. But they're just making it up. Just like I was making it up when I was telling my family. And so they do this shit, and it's just an abomination. It's so horrible. And they do it because it's looked at like a transcendence redemption ritual. You've never heard of another group that so many of their holidays and all that shit are about redemption. Yom Kippur being, among the worst. And one of those things nobody talks about. Remember this last year in Europe, there was the Yom Kippur attack where supposedly this guy drove his car into a group of friars outside of a church and then was trying to get into a door that was being barricaded. And then the police showed up and 2 of the 3 people killed were shot by police. One of the people was supposedly run over by the dude, but who knows? No footage of it exists. This is in the UK, where there's literally CCTV cameras everywhere, or CCTV cameras everywhere, whatever. But just like so many other things, when it's important, there's no footage. But it turns out, what was he trying to get into that door? What was behind that door? Turns out it was a bunch of elderly people and children behind that door. What were they doing? Whose children were they? Why were they with random elderly people? This is during the redemption, transcendence holiday. Yom Kippur is all about redemption. For supposedly the most moral, truthful, wonderful people on the planet, why do so many of their rituals revolve around redemption? Kaparat or whatever it's called, where they supposedly transfer their sins into a chicken, then they swing it around their head to break its neck and kill it. Then these sick fucks donate the chicken to the poor and laugh because they know, or they believe, that now these poor Goyim are eating their sins. Because they actually believe that they're putting their sins into this chicken. Do you not understand how fucked up that is? I don't believe it, but for you to believe it and do it and then give it to the poor, oh, like what a fucked up thing to do. I could take all this toxic poison out of my body and I can put it into this animal. Now I'm going to feed this animal to poor people? Who the fuck thinks like that? That's some disgusting shit, right? That is some disgusting shit. And that's literally just one of many rituals that they have to do throughout the year for redemption. What do you need to be redeemed for so much? What are you doing in your everyday life that is so awful that you constantly need to do such extreme forms of redemption? And again, this whole ritualistic abuse thing, this bottom of darkness, this is all about redemption. So they transfer their sins into this vessel, this child, who is now full of countless adults' sins. And by the time they're an adult at 13, they age out of the process. Well, they now have to pass those sins on. They don't want to have all those sins inside them. They need redemption because they're so full of sin. They were chosen because they were special. And it was either going to be them or their little sister. And even though it was their little sister, that's what they still told them anyway. And so because they accepted it, they didn't fight back. They accepted it. And they trusted the people doing. That's part of the sin. So now they're full of sin. And they need to be redeemed as well. So now they do it to another child, completing that circle, right? But it gets even deeper, right? They learn to embrace their inner evil self and they have the rituals to carry it out. Right, it's so fucked up, right? But when you look at it and you say, man, who could just live off of other people's genocide? Who is such an asshole that they walk around like, I'm chosen by God. I'm awesome. I deserve $3.8 billion a year being stolen from American tax dollars and given in a lump sum payment in the first fiscal month of every year, cash, no strings attached, no monitoring, nothing. That's just the base amount given. We deserve that. We look at it as they're getting free money. It's not free money. Yeah, they don't work. Yeah, they get their government checks each month and they live really well and they get given a big ass mansion. Like, did you see the footage where Iran proved that the Iron Dome is a fantasy? Just like the Samson option is a fantasy, the strength behind the Samson option is that we believe that they have. We believe in nukes, and we believe they have them. And as long as we believe in nukes and we believe they have them, then we're likely to, never attack because we don't want those psychopaths to start launching their nukes in every direction, right? Same thing with the Iron Dome. If you believe that anything that gets shot into Israel airspace will get shot down, why waste your ammunition? Only the Palestinians were dumb enough to continuously shoot 1 or 2 rockets into Israeli airspace, never into Israel, just into Israeli airspace, so that they could get shot down, and then Israel would have their jets and everything already lined up along with 10 targets that they happen to want to hit in that exact area, and within 20 minutes they've already hit all of those targets. And this happens over and over again. No Israelis, they don't take any damage, nothing. And for some reason, these Palestinians who can't bring in lumber to build their houses, they somehow sneak in magical munitions that cost thousands and thousands of dollars when they have no money, only so they can shoot it up into the sky and get it shot down. Do you believe that? Or is it more likely that Israel is shooting those weapons into agreed upon coordinates so that they can be shot down? And it looks like the Iron Dome works, and now they also have an excuse to attack an area they wanted to attack. But Iran proved that the Iron Dome doesn't really work, because when they launched that one attack and it got through and it blew the shit out of some mansions, if you look at the pictures, man, those houses were huge. Those houses were huge. Christianity is dumb. You have to be dumb to be a Christian. It goes hand in hand. Christianity teaches you that you are second class. That in your own belief structure, you're not even your own God's chosen people. The bad guys of the Bible, again, not Satan, the children of Abraham, the bad guys in the Bible. By the way, Abraham was married to his blood sister Sarai, or Sarah. The father of the Jewish people was incest. Was brother-sister incest. Pretty good, huh? I mean, it's all just so fucked up. It's all so fucked up. And Christianity is just it teaches you that you, like, so many of the stories in the Bible involve some sort of Jewish person, some Jewish guy. He builds the God phone that only they can build. He talks to God. God says, I am the fart knocker who knocks farts out my fart knocker. And he always introduces himself differently. But he says to the random Jewish person, hey, all the land from here to here is yours. And so then they go, okay. And they go into the town and they tell the town's full of people, hey, all the land from here to here, I just built a phone. None of you saw it or anything, but I just built the God phone. And God told me all of the land from here to here is mine. So you guys all live in my area. You have to pay me taxes. I'm your leader, blah, blah, blah. And the best part is, everybody was always like, okay, sounds good. If you say you talk to God, then you must have talked to God. It's not like you people lie about anything. And so they've been teaching you for forever that you just accept their bullshit. And their bullshit, like if you look at what we're experiencing now, it's not that somebody walks into the town and claims the town. No, they just take and take and take and take, and then they go, well, we're chosen. You should be happy to do it. You should be honored that we do this to you. And you're, as a good Christian, you're supposed to go, yeah, makes sense. The people that killed Jesus, my Savior and God's only child, those are God's chosen people. Not the Christians. Christians are not the chosen people in their own religion. A completely different religion who essentially hates them, doesn't believe in Jesus, believes Mary is boiling in a vat of semen in hell, in a cauldron full of semen in hell. Those are your God's chosen people. Not you. Not you. And you don't see the ruse? You don't see how you've been duped there? Seems pretty fucking stupid to me. But again, if you look at it like now, you're told America first, America first, America first. Well, America first, unless it's Israel. Unless it's those chosen people. If it's the chosen people, then it's them first. It's Israel first. If you're watching, don't forget to like, share, and sub. This is what we do here. And in order, as a gift, I give you guys free music. Free download. www.the-bilderberg, bilderberg-group.com. It's free. The link will be in the description after the fact. I always put it in after. But if you need it now, then just go to a previous video. It'll be in the description of that video. I missed that. No, from my side, it's every other reason. Base your works on yourself and hoping that God can look at your good deeds. What are you talking about? Your God doesn't even listen to your prayers, dude. You fools are just you're so ridiculous. God does answer prayers. God answers
tithings.
Tithings. Money. You give the church money. You know what's crazy? This is something like, again, all of you dumbasses that think all you have to do is repent.
Oh my God, it's cold.
You repent for your sins and then you get to go to heaven and all that shit. Doesn't matter what kind of life you live, as long as you repent, it's all good. Guess what? It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that. If you repent, then you'll live forever. But that doesn't mean you're going to live forever hanging out with Jay-Z. But the thing is, there's a part of this that you guys just love to ignore. Why would there be a rule book if you could just break rules and then say, I'm sorry, over and over and over again? Do you think maybe the repenting is for the stuff you didn't know that you did? Or you did before you knew better or something like that?
Oh, you heard about Life Touch Portrait Studios, right? The
No.
ones that do all of the school pictures for the kids, including our kids? Yeah, they are directly tied and in the Epstein files. I think they were providing menus to Epstein for him to go take his pick of what kids he wanted.
Yeah.
And taking pictures for them, providing photographer. Like, it's So all the schools have right now canceled. No more pictures through Life Touch. They're going to all scramble and find new companies to work with.
We'll
It's a
see.
big thing. I mean, even all the charter schools.
I love the crybabies that say, you talk some facts. What part's wrong? How come you can always talk about what I do, but never actually talk about what I'm wrong about? Yeah. Nothing I'm saying is wrong. Tell us what you really think about non-Jews. He's not even here anymore. He ran away a long time ago. They're just disgusting. They're disgusting, awful fucking creatures. I was saying something and then she piped in and, oh, did you hear? She loves doing that to me. It throws me way off and she does it all the time. But it is what it is. There's nothing I'm saying that's not true. You can cry about the stuff I'm saying about Christianity. Doesn't make it any less true. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's true. Like, again, if you're a Christian, why are you a Christian? This should not be such a hard thing to ask people. If you believe in God and Jesus and all that stuff, why do you believe that one's true, but the Islam version isn't? or which Christianity you do believe in. Again, now we're talking about, are you Lutheran? Are you Protestant? Are you Catholic? Which version of Christian are you? Because again, why is that one right but the other ones are wrong?
How well do you know her boyfriend, JJ?
Pretty well. I see him a lot, but it's not like we have these amazing...
It's amazing how difficult it is to get people that just answer simple questions. And again, your response is, so you believe in Islam. What? Why? That's a typical Christian sort of, that's like what, it's amazing how we're all programmed to do the same thing, right? Doesn't matter what the scenario is. You talk to a Trump supporter and you try talking about what they do, what they think, and they, oh, so you're a Biden supporter? Oh, so you supported Kamala then? What? You say you don't believe in God. They go, oh, so you worship Satan then? You believe in Satan? What about anything I do or say makes anyone think I would be anything close to Muslim? It just doesn't even make any sense. It's all stupid. They're all three Abrahamic. Why would they be different and all be under the same fucking moniker?
Explain what that means when you say that.
Abraham is the father of, well, in Christianity, he's the father of all religious people. In Judaism, he's the father of the Jewish people. And in Islam, he's one of the highest prophets. But again, Abraham is the bad guy in the Bible. He is the main big bad.
And he's the one constant in all three religions?
Not the one constant.
God isn't.
Well, but Jesus is, and Jesus isn't though too. Just he's not the son of God. He's a prophet. Same kind of shit. But it's all like an intertwined, just a bunch of shit. The character names get swapped. Maybe locations get swapped, or but it's all the same bunch of bullshit. And when it comes, at least with the Muslims think Islam is the best. The fact that Christians think Jews are the best. How doesn't that bother you? Do you not get it? Oh, here we go. An asshole. The real arrogant asshole. God answers my prayers, he says. What prayers did God answer? And how do you know it was Christian God? But think about this. So, what are you doing when you're praying that works so much better for God to answer your prayers than those kids that are being raped by clergy, that are being held in the Vatican against their will, but kids that are constantly raped by clergy and nothing happens to the rapist? You think you're praying different than those kids do? Are you praying better than all the Christians in Palestine that are having bombs dropped on their house? And so they don't even die. They get buried alive in the rubble. And then it takes 3 or 4 days for them to die. You think God's listening to their prayers? Or is he too busy answering your prayers, you asshole? Just because you don't get shit doesn't mean everybody gets the same treatment as you. What? That's how Christianity works. We believe if you put your faith in Jesus Christ and ask him for forgiveness and try your very best not to sin, even though we are all humans and we're not perfect. You don't try your best not to sin. As soon as you have an opportunity to have sex before you're married, you do. Once you are married, you have sex all the time for non-procreation purposes. Guess what? You're going to hell. Hope you don't have any tattoos.
Hope you're not wearing polyester and cotton at the same time.
No, that's Old Testament. God got it wrong the first time. Had to make a new one where God wasn't so scary.
So if God had to amend it, why did he leave the first one in existence?
Because that's the Jewish book.
Oh.
God will still forgive your sin if you try not to sin. No, it doesn't say that anywhere. Like, again, this is one of these wishy-washy dumb Christians who, like, thinks it's some lovely little fairy tale. You understand your God's an asshole, right? Your Jewish God is an asshole. He's not like, oh, well, just try your best. No, it's a book of rules you're supposed to follow. I love when Christians are so arrogant. They say, well, it's not all, some of it's meant for interpretation. Which part? Who are you to decide which parts of the Bible aren't to be taken word for word and which parts are? And then who are you to decide what that interpretation is? Does it say to do that anywhere? You're desecrating your body. You're not supposed to get tattoos. Are you fucking crazy?
I love the people that get the tattoos of Jesus Christ on their fucking bodies.
Or the cross.
Or, you know,
the cross is the worst. Or the cross with Jesus on it.
The crucifix, that's the absolute worst. You are celebrating his death.
Right. Jesus is going to come down and be like, what? You know, that's like the worst day of my life, right? Can you imagine, like, you got in a really bad car crash and shit, you're in a fucking wheelchair, and everybody's like, hey, I had this picture of the car crash, and I made a chain out of it, and I had pictures drawn up, and let's all put the pictures all around our house to celebrate that car crash that fucked your whole shit up. Allah confirmed in the Bible in Quran 1094 and Quran 630. Sure, because it's all the same dumb shit. The law of thermodynamics states that there's a God. Does it?
Science and God don't mix, dummy.
It's just so stupid. It's like, you know, this guy heard somebody say that once. Right? Everything he's talking about, he heard somebody say once. That's why he doesn't actually address what I'm saying. Because what I'm saying is my own shit. And I'm presenting thoughts and problems and things that somebody hasn't already addressed for him. So he can't just respond with something he's heard before. Or she, whatever. I hope it's not a she. Because, you know, all you females out there, you must not like your Bible that much. You know, never mind 1 Timothy 2:12. Never mind that. I permit no woman to speak or have authority over a man. She is to keep silent. Never mind that. Abraham built the black stone that they circle 7 times. Yeah, that's what it is. Yep. Ah, you're dumb. I mean, I don't understand. Are you trying to prove that it's all just one big horseshit show? I don't understand. You're not actually validating your belief. Why you believe what you believe. You can't, like, don't you think it's strange that Christians can't just be like, oh, well, there's this, and there's this, and there's this. It's always just some bullshit. You know, it's really embarrassing. I agree with your take on Israel, but don't necessarily think it's linked to religion. Again, I don't understand. What part are you missing? Have you not heard the term Abrahamic religions before? Like, and again, do you know I'm wrong? Or are you just struggling with what I'm saying? It'd be one thing if you could say, no, man, I've looked into this, and I know this, and here's an example of this, and this, and this, and you could say I'm wrong because of it. But if it's just because you don't necessarily like it, because it's not what you've been told by other people, well, that's something you have to sort of ask yourself. Where's that coming from? And I would imagine it's probably the same sort of programming that everything else is. Corruption, money, and greed will make countries do some crazy shit. Listen, if they print the money, they don't care about the money. Money is not there for, like, it's not about having the money, right? Money is not there so they have it. Money is there so we don't have it. Do you understand that? They can't keep us as actual slaves anymore. Indentured servants and all that shit. So they needed to create the same sort of narrative without us realizing what it is. And so as long as minimum wage and all that shit, like, you're never going to get out of the bottom rung. That's how it's designed. They need people to be the cogs in the wheel. They need people to cook their French fries and fix their car and, you know, clean their house and all that shit. They need us for that, right? But they print the money so that we are always trying to get more of it, but never have enough. So this is something that, again, a lot of people think, like, Algo loves the idea that they're trying to take everyone out. They can't. They can't. What most people don't understand is rich people, and these Jews too, their lives aren't like ours, right? So their lives aren't, oh, I got to work all this week and this month and this year, and then after a couple of years of saving up, I might be able to go on a vacation. They go, hey, you know what? I want to go skiing in Switzerland this week, so let's hop on the plane. We'll go there. Then I wanted to go get some lunch at that Chinese place I love so much in China, so we'll go there. And then there's that fight there that I wanted to see, so we'll see that. And then we'll hop back over to Cannes Film Festival. I wanted to go there for that. So we'll do that. Then we're gonna be tired, so we'll go spend like a week or two in Hawaii and just chill out. And then we'll go up to Burning Man and we'll do that for a little while. And and that's what their lives are like. And the only way that life can exist is if it's already ready already. Right? They have to be able to, like, we have to be here. The ski resort has to be up and running. The plethora of restaurants have to exist for when they come to whatever town it is and they want to eat. But at the same time, you have to understand, in order for the restaurants to exist, like, what most people don't understand is just how amazing that is. That's amazing, right? You don't understand how many human beings go into that happening every day. The lines being worked on, the components being designed, the modulation of the power systems and all that shit. And all those people, well, they have to eat. They have to sleep somewhere. They have to be entertained. Because a good slave is a happy slave. These guys don't want to fly all around the world, and when they land, they see just people. They want people, they want us to dance. Watch, I'm going to give this guy $20. Watch him go run for the car like it's nothing. When we go, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And they're like, yeah, I could fart out this $100 bill. I don't care. They think that's funny. They think that's cute. And that makes for a better slave. I've been in many service positions to where, the smartest guys, the big wigs, like if you're at a hotel or you're going to be in town at a restaurant for a week and you plan on going to this restaurant for your meetings and whatnot. The number one thing you want to do first is hook the valet up. Because if you hook the valet up in the beginning and you say, here, I'm going to give you this, and then I'll take care of you at the end, you don't even need to take tips from people. That valet will bust his fucking ass for you. Because, you know, he needs that money. He has children. He has a life that he wants to pay for and make the best that it can be. So, that's why we've all been taught that we should marry our high school sweethearts and start popping out children right away. Not just because the menu gets bigger, but because we become better slaves. You know, when you have a family to feed at home, and that asshole Jewish guy, you know, talks, makes you feel like shit, belittles you, at your job. He talks some shit. He does whatever, and you want to strike back. Well, you're not going to. You might if you didn't have a family. You might if you didn't have a house to pay for. But because you need that job, you'll just shut up and take it. And you'll put a smile on your face. And that's what they want. They want good little happy slaves to do this shit job. To service them. Service us with a smile. Don't complain. You know, don't fight. Do a good job. You'll get a little bit extra at the end and shut your fucking mouth. Definitely don't talk about anything that we do. Right? Don't talk about us.
Fucking little 4-year-old drowned at the Embassy Suites Hotel yesterday.
It's horrible.
Last night.
It's horrible. Stop trying to chime in with weird shit. I'm in the middle of talking. You guys gotta understand, man. They're not trying to wipe us out. They're trying to keep us in line. They don't like where things have gone. You know, ideally, things would be like the 50s, the McCarthyism, where we're all, you know, cutting our lawns on a Saturday, or, you know, wives doing the laundry on the Sunday, and, you know, all that shit. That's what they want. Good little soldiers. Little automatons that don't know what they're fucking doing, that think they're free, that are happy to get their week vacation every year. Hey, you worked hard, you can take a week off. It's not paid vacation. No. We just let you take a week off. If you want to. I mean, I know your bills won't be able to handle it, but you can do it if you want to. You know, this whole thing is not about, they can't get rid of us, you guys. Until iRobot is a real thing and it works really well and we all are, you know, they can't. They need us. They need us for our creativity. They're not creative. They're great at stealing things and then adapting things, but they're not creative. Anytime, you know, so you would see these times in Hollywood where, you know, they would kick all the Goyim out. And they would be like, well, people like Western movies, so we'll just make a gazillion Western movies until they don't like it anymore. And then we'll bring a Goy in and we'll you know, get another idea. Oh, Kung Fu movie? Let's make Kung Fu movies. Action movie? We'll make action movies till people are sick of action movies. You know? Seinfeld is considered this great blah, blah, blah. Oh, this show about nothing. Seinfeld isn't funny, man. I might be a small minority there, but so many of those shows, if you take the laugh track out, like especially shit like Big Bang, it's not funny. This is why I want land away from everything. It doesn't matter. So Kaylee, that's the wrong attitude, right? The only way we fix things is through what I call true selfishness. And true selfishness is me. I want myself, my wife, and my children to live the happiest, healthiest, safest lives we could possibly live. And the only way that can ever possibly happen is if everyone else is living the happiest, healthiest, safest lives they can live. You know, I don't know about you, but I have trouble sleeping at night knowing what's going on in Palestine. Not even knowing, having a small idea of what's going on in Palestine right now. The idea that so many children are being starved to death and then killed and all, like, it's atrocious. And to think, oh, I just want to bury my head in the sand. I want to get some land and disappear. You know, that'll only do till they come for you. Till they go, oh, hey, you know what? That land has some rocks underneath it that we like. Oh, hey, we want to run a fucking a new road through this land of yours. So get fucked. Same, and then for me is to get a land and a house. That is my happy. Yeah, but don't you want your land and your house to be safe? Prosperous? If your land and your house is in the middle of somewhere surrounded by starving people who you know, are destitute, how safe do you think you're going to be? And then do you want to be the person that is constantly killing your fellow brother and sister Goyim because they're so desperate that they want yours?
If you feel held back by the weight of financial decisions, we can give you the tools to help you break free.
Good.
Are they good ones or no?
Yeah, for $10, it's all good. Where's that?
20.
Yeah, no. That's why it's so cheap. Matthew, what's happening? They can find me. Kaylee, I get the frustration, right? You know, I'm half black, and I can't stand what's been done to black people. I can't stand the stereotype character that's been created through their horrible movies like Do the Right Thing and shit like that. You know, there's this really great documentary made in like 1981 or something, and it's about Ellis Island or Rikers Island, one of the two. Rikers Island, right? Duh. And if you close your eyes, you can barely tell the difference between the black people and the white people. There's the occasional guy who talks like this man. But for the most part, black people aren't saying, you know, I'm in these streets. I got that scrimp with my mother and my brother. And, you know, they don't sound like they're fucking stupid yet. And this has all been done to black people. This is all like, it's all been, it's a design. It's MK Ultra shit. You know, they've tricked black people. Literally, MK Ultra is somebody says a word, a phrase or something that's very uncommon. The blue tangerine fell from the albatross on the head of Abraham Lincoln. Some kind of crazy shit like that. Who knows? Maybe I just triggered a bunch of people. But you hear that phrase and you suddenly go into a different personality. One that you didn't even know existed. Sirhan, the guy that killed Bobby Kennedy, doesn't deny that he killed Bobby Kennedy. He just says, I don't remember doing it. I was at my house, I was vacuuming, the phone rang, suddenly I'm sitting on the ground, holding Bobby Kennedy, like, what the fuck? And you can see it in the pictures of him. In his face, he looks like, what the fuck is going on here? He doesn't look like, I just killed Bobby Kennedy. He looks confused as shit. It looks staged, it looks set up. And there's way more to it than people realize, right? But that's MK Ultra shit. And what's more MK Ultra than black people being tricked into committing crimes because some random white person says a word. All a white person has to say is nigger, and black people are like, oh shit, time to make Jews a whole bunch of money. I'm going to beat you up, so then you have to go to the Jewish hospital, which will bill the Jewish insurance companies. And that just creates revenue between them. The black guy's going to have to go to Jewish-owned jail, where he's then going to have to get a Jewish lawyer. Well, you're going to have to get a Jewish lawyer as well. And you're going to see the Jewish judge, and the black guy's going to have to pay whatever he's going to have to pay for assaulting you, of which the Jewish state court fines and all that shit. All because some random stranger said a word. If you flip out and commit a crime because somebody calls you ignorant, guess what? They're right. Stop it. Weirdo, stop it. Like when Reggie Jackson goes after the Queen. I don't know what you're talking about. Have to find me first. Freedom for me is walking through the land in the middle where nowhere can find me. Okay, but you're like, I'm not saying this as a knock, right? You're foolish on purpose, right? They want you to be foolish like that. They want you to think that you could escape them somehow. Do you understand that they have mosquito bots? That they have these drone mosquitoes that operate with a hive mind? That can sense things, heat level, like see things like the fucking predator and shit? Do you not understand that everywhere where you think there's like these huge open forests and shit where you could live, like the guys on YouTube who get themselves a stick and build themselves a fucking palace under a tree and shit? I love those videos too, but it's unrealistic. By the way, if you're watching, like, share, and sub. Help out. Help out. Come on, guys. Nobody has 27 likes and 13 viewers. That does not make sense. 2,500 subscribers. That does not make sense. Come on, guys. Take 2 seconds. Click share. Click Facebook. Right, this guy's crazy. Come tell him he's crazy. Share it. Do whatever you have to do, but help. Right? But when I say you're foolish, it's because they want you to be. Like, how many of you have heard the idea that those Aztecs and those Native Americans, you know, they would torture the white men who were just trying to bring Christianity to their name, just trying to spread the good word. And the native would pull their still beating hearts out of their chests and eat it in front of them before they died? We've all heard that bullshit narrative, right? Do you know how stupid that is? That's impossible. How do you break through somebody's chest cavity? Do you guys not understand how sturdy this area is? Your sternum. And then this whole cage around it is like specifically designed to prevent that exact thing from happening. It's you. And then if somehow somebody was able to break through your skin, through your bones, and grab your heart, you'd pass out from the fucking pain. Long before you died, you'd pass out. But we all believe that that's something that somebody could do, or they did, or the savages and the, you know. Think about the stupidity you actually believe without even realizing how stupid it is. That would be the life. I love when people talk about wanting to live out in the middle of the woods on a cell phone. On YouTube, on a cell phone, on a YouTube feed. I mean, literally, nothing's stopping you. If you really think it's that possible and that easy, just go do it. Right? What's to stop you? The reality of it is to stop you, obviously.
I just typed the reality of it.
Yeah.
I was typing as you said that. That's weird.
That's what stop. You know, have you ever watched Alone? You ever watched Alone? Does anybody think that looks like fucking fun? You know why you watch Alone? Because it's fascinating. Because you're like, who are these fucking people that can kill a fucking muskox with his bare hands and you know, live in the fucking, it's minus 25 degrees. What the fuck are you talking about? Those are always really weird people. I completely understand that, but I would rather still be in the woods in a house. It is realistic. I have friends that live in a homestead life. I get what you're saying. It takes a village. They have broken us. They have made us so distrustful of our Goyim brothers and sisters because of the chosen actions. But it takes a village. We don't need to go backwards at all. We need to go forwards. We don't need to go to a time when we're in the middle of the woods. We got no electricity. I like air conditioning. I like having a fan on. I like my cell phone. I like the TV. I like going downstairs and there's food in the fridge. I like that. I know how difficult it is. We grow food every year. And yeah, it's great, but it's nowhere near enough to survive on. Oh, look, we got some zucchini that finally popped. Let's eat zucchini. Oh, look, we've got enough for a small tomato salad. Like, that's what happens, and it's nice. We actually get a pretty good abundance of tomatoes for like 3 months. And that's awesome. But to then sit there and be like, let me can them, let me do this, I am not interested in any of that. I do not want to go backwards at all. I want to go forwards. I want to get to a point where nobody works, that like nobody has to work. If you like, there are plenty of people. My father-in-law is one of those guys that just like until his body failed him, and even long after that, he still wants to work and do things all day. If you gave him the job and you were like, you're the guy that has to make sure the button's pushed every 10 minutes, he'd love it. But the reality is, you know, like the Tartarian world that clearly existed before this, that dug all the subways and built the palaces and the Versailles and the government buildings and the skyscrapers that don't make sense and all that shit, the Pentagon, they didn't fucking work. Look at all the old pictures. Look at all the old paintings. What do you see? You see people just living life, enjoying the freedom that they live in. Somehow everything's lit up like there's electricity, you know? Somehow everybody was able to build all these magnificent structures. You don't ever see any pictures of them being built because they didn't do it. You know? How did you feed all those people? One of my favorite engravings or pieces of evidence is supposedly from 1621, I believe. But it was Old London Bridge. And what is pictured to exist for Old London Bridge, it couldn't exist today. We couldn't do it today. That's why London Bridge doesn't look like it did. Old London Bridge used to have huge, gigantic fucking houses on it. And then all throughout London, in the background, you could see buildings and in towers and towers and all these different buildings. And this is basically a picture of millions, of a place where millions of people live. How did those people eat? How did they all eat every day? What was the grocery store available? And then the money and all, like, it just doesn't make sense. You couldn't even, the whole idea of like a fish market feeding, it doesn't work. Everybody's getting around by horses and carriages and shit. You know, once you get to that Tartaria point, it's like it breaks. Everything breaks. And it's important as far as the bigger picture goes that you incorporate this element in it. Because obviously something happened. I am a no doubt believer in resets. No fucking doubt. I do not accept the idea that World's Fairs were just built all over the world. Just amazing, incredible, could not do it today if we wanted to. Structures built out of like mache, paper mache, and wood and plaster and shit. That rival anything even close to possible in 2 years, only to destroy them. All but maybe a couple of buildings that also happened to go up in that 2 years, but those were made to last forever because they still exist today. All the other buildings were meant to be taken down. You can pay. Yes, why are we talking? I don't care about that. The whole notion of like a barter society is cute in theory. It's not doable. It's not doable. You know, we need the amount of people that exist. We need the mass production lines, the system that exists. We do not need to break the system. We need to make the system better. It needs to be a healthier, better system that isn't all about the almighty dollar. How we can we save 2 cents? Well, let's save 2 cents. You know? What about the late 18s where everyone is dressed up on the boardwalk? And they always look like it's cold outside. Nobody ever decided to take a picture or paint a picture or anything when it happened to be 90 fucking degrees out and 90% humidity. Everyone always looks like they're cold and or sort of scared of the sun. The women have their parasols. The men in their unbelievably uncomfortable top hats. You see those top hats. Those top hats had to weigh at least a pound or two. Your neck would be wrecked by the end of the day. You don't understand. The whole thing is your history is fake. And I highly encourage you, because I'm going to leave you the links in the description. Underneath the music, www.the-bilderberg, Under the music, the second link is the link to Hollywoodism. And Hollywoodism is the most important film ever made. It literally tells you why you think the way you think. Why you believe George Washington is real. Why you believe Ben Franklin is real. Abraham Lincoln is real. Why you were given these characters and why you believe in them. Why you think 1776 and the blah, 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 blah. The slavery movement and the Civil War and all that. You believe all that shit because they want you to believe all that shit. Right? If you can prove God isn't working through me, then I'll believe it's real. From my woolly hair and big bronze feet to my hatred of Israel, if you can pass over my meal, then don't forget to get your free download, Kaylee. Swear to God, I will it will change your shit. Condemnation. Just look at my beautiful face and tell me I'm not. It's all there for you. I'm actually done too. I'm gone way longer than I wanted to. I'm exhausted. My throat hurts. You have no idea how much this takes out of me. But go get your free download. www.the-bilderberg, bilderberg-group.com. All you do is click download. It'll ask you how much you want to pay. You click 0, and that shit is free. All we ask is that you share it with someone. You can donate. We appreciate those that donate, but we don't ask you to. Then go watch Hollywoodism. It will explain why you think like you do if you let it. If you see through the veneer, if you see past the surface, it'll tell you flat out. Essentially, you could say the American dream is the Jewish dream. Actually said twice in the movie.
What proof do you have God doesn't hate all religion?
Then go read Israel Hayom, Bottom of Darkness,
You to be forgiven by those
so you understand why there's a group of people that can say, oh, your house was bombed. You know, you're starving. Oh, this is your land and we're taking it. You don't think we should get $3.8 billion a year? Were you raped from 3 years old to 13 years old and then forced to rape another child so you could be redeemed? No? Okay, well, I was, and until you experience something like that, until you get chosen for something like that, don't talk to me about how bad your shit is. Do you not understand? It makes sense. I've been trying to make sense of it for a long time. And now it makes sense. It's fucked up, but it makes sense. It makes sense how you can have Rabbi Douchebag tell you that the rape of a 3-year-old and 3-year and 1-day-old child is not rape, it's an act of God. How normal people are like, what the fuck, that doesn't make any sense. And he goes, no. It's an act of God. It's the ritual and blah, blah. It's because they're so... Look what was done to them. Look at how they were broken. How their brains were broken and compartmentalized, and they were abused, and they were brought to death and brought back to life. You know, if you bring someone to death and then you bring them back to life and you're like, look, I saved you, even though they know you tried to kill them, it still creates this weird psychic, a bond. It creates a bond that's hard to explain. And they do that to the kids. They burn them. They stick their hands in boiling water. They mutilate their genitals. They do the worst of the worst things. And this needs to stop. The only way we fix the world is by protecting the Jewish children, so they don't grow up to be the savages that guys like Kushner are. Kushner is a piece of shit. He is the worst of the worst. He is as bad as it gets. And he exudes it. You never look at Kushner and be like, hey, that's a good guy. I bet he's thinking happy thoughts. He's horrible. They're all horrible. And that's what the rest of the receipts in the description will show you. Unbelievable horror after unbelievable horror. Havara agreement, emancipation, auto-emancipation, all of it. It's right there. Just go look. I provided you all the receipts necessary. Go check it out. Have yourself a wonderful day. And you pedophiles, you fucking kill yourselves. Wait for it.